Bleep, bleep. Gotcha. Gotcha, loud and clear.
Yes. In the respond. Can hear you. Sure.
I step into the day with the dawn ringing in my ears, and well, I tune into my TV show. No better way, I gotta get myself into gear. Let's go. Oh, and I feel good today with my wake up in the morning espresso. I feel good today. It's my feel good breakfast show.
Woo-wee. I love it, man. You know, when we're just making sounds to start the day, it's a special one. Good morning to you. Good morning to you, my
Good morning, brother.
Welcome
How are
to
you?
it. It's been an amazing week so far. I'm so excited to be diving right back in for our midweek feel-good explosion. I hope you're warm, okay? I hope you're cozy. I hope you're next to someone that you love. And I hope you are ready for the preparation for Father's Day.
Yes,
Dun, dun, dun. It's
the big
coming,
day
man.
is here. It's time to celebrate. It's time to remind you that you need to get your presents, you need to get your gifts and your cards and everything together. Now, each presenter this morning is also going to be presenting their Father's Day meals, and that's in the culinary hotline alongside Chef Clem. Now, I know mine's going to be very interesting. I don't know what you're going to have up your sleeve.
It's the same thing.
Fun.
It's the same thing every year. It involves a steak. It pretty much always involves a steak. You throw an egg in the mix. We are loving it. Then added to that, we're going to continue being inspired by those father figures. We're going to meet a dad, an author, a speaker, Kobus Visser, who shares his incredible story of fatherhood. Plus, he is going to show us his ability to walk on broken glass as an act of bravery. Part physical, part emotional, part spiritual, very much mental. He is going to take us through this act of bravery and what that means to him.
I cannot wait for that. But finally, it doesn't stop there. We're also going to be entertained by the talented. Guess who's back again? Machozi!
Oh, man. I hope he feels that special because that's how special he is.
Oh, yeah.
So good to have him. And he's brought a couple of friends along as well. And yes, we will be drinking a lot of coffee today. I'm very much here for that. But let's connect with the other member of our team this morning who's going to hopefully balance out all of the silliness. A very good morning, Zozo. How are you doing?
Morning.
Oh, good morning, gentlemen. I am doing well, and yes, super excited, not only for the long weekend being Youth Day on Friday, but also Father's Day coming up on this coming Sunday. Now, since we are leading up to Father's Day, we thought, why not use this opportunity to ask you on our Good Morning post on Facebook. With Father's Day around the corner, we want to know, what does being a good father look like to you? Oh, listen, this is the perfect opportunity to give your dad that love. Send us a voice note. Our number is 063-408-8863, or you can simply comment on the Facebook page. We will, throughout the show, that's between now and 9 o'clock, look at all of those comments, listen to all of those voice notes, and just take a look at what does being a good father look like to you. So that's definitely going to be wholesome. Well, that and a whole lot more is on its way, but first, let's get in touch with those morning headlines.
Thank you so much. So yes, it's time to take a look at the headlines this morning, and starting on national news headlines. Now, China's ambassador to SA, Zhen Xiaodong, says China wishes to help SA overcome the electricity crisis. Now, Shen said this at a conference on cooperation between SA and China concerning energy. Now, the energy experts and Chinese investors discussed possibilities to speed up the implementation of renewable energy as a countermeasure for the continuous power outages. Now, SA has already started a process of transition from coal to renewable energy, such as sun and wind. And a number of Western countries have also already pledged 8.5 billion rand in the form of low-interest loans to South Africa. While sticking to national news headlines, the Mpumalanga Department of Public Works, Roads and Transport has set aside close to 2 billion rand for the construction and maintenance of roads in the province. Now, MEC Mandla Ndlovu says his department will increase the regional infrastructure maintenance budget from 226 to 281 million rand. Now, residents living in towns close to the Kruger National Park have on several occasions embarked on protest action demanding that certain roads be tarred. Now, Ndlovu says the road between Belfast and Justicia Village is among those that will be upgraded. From our national news headlines, it's time to head over to international news. Now, Eritrea has rejoined the East African Regional Bloc, the Intergovernmental Authority on Development, otherwise known as IGAD. Now, after pulling out 16 years ago. Now, Eritrea has taken its seat at the ongoing IGAD summit in neighboring Djibouti. Now, Eritrea suspended its membership of the body in 2007 in protest against Ethiopia's military intervention in Somalia. Now, IGAD's members are Djibouti, Eritrea, Ethiopia, Kenya, Somalia, South Sudan, and Uganda. Well, carrying on with our international headlines, mourners at the wake of an Ecuadorian woman was actually startled to discover she was still alive. Now, a hospital doctor in the city of Babahoya had declared Bella Montoya, 76, deceased following a suspected stroke. Now, in a funeral parlor, relatives held a vigil before her planned burial. Now, after almost 5 hours, they opened the coffin to change her clothes ahead of the funeral, and she gasped for air. Now, in February, an 82-year-old woman was found to be breathing while lying in a funeral home in New York. 3 hours earlier, she'd been pronounced dead. Interesting stuff indeed. Now, lastly, the efforts by a Nigerian chef to break the world record for cooking non-stop has officially been recognized by Guinness World Records. Yes, Hilda Baci became a national sensation after cooking for 100 hours with only a 5-minute break each hour. Now, Chef Baci, 27, used more than 100 different dishes, mainly from Nigerian origin. Now, afterwards, she spoke about what had motivated her, and a quote coming through saying, "I just knew that I needed to do something out of the ordinary to put myself, Nigeria, and young African women on the map." Unquote. I absolutely love this. This is what I'm here for, and we are here to give you the rest of the headlines. G's got the latest when it comes to sport.
Thank you so much, Raul. Let's start with some wonderful news on the rugby front. The Sharks on Tuesday confirmed the signing officially of former Springbok winger Aphiwe Jantjie. The 28-year-old played 13 tests for the Springboks between 2018 and 2019 before his career was halted by a 4-year doping ban. Well, he will soon become eligible to play again, and the Sharks have wasted no time in acquiring the phenomenally talented speedster services. Of course, before his ban, Jantjie was on the books of the Lions, where he was a major star for the Johannesburg franchise, big part of their team in Super Rugby. Cannot wait to see him back out on the field. Then we turn to football, and Kylian Mbappe says he has not asked to leave Paris Saint-Germain this summer, and that the letter he sent to the club was leaked with the aim of damaging his image. So the forward has also taken to Twitter to brand reports that he wants to join Real Madrid this summer as lies, quote. Now added he is also, quote, very happy with the French champions at the moment. Mbappe says PSG were first told on the 15th of July last year of his decision to reject the extension. Official correspondence has followed to the effect this week, with Mbappe saying the only aim of the letter was to confirm that what had already been spoken about. Now we turn to netball, and Proteas coach Norma Plummer is confident that her side will be well ready when the world descends on the country for the Vitality Netball World Cup. So Cape Town is the host city, where 16 countries will be vying for the coveted title of the best netball nation of the tournament. That will take place over 10 days. Now the Proteas have had several camps leading up to the global showpiece, starting last December ahead of that quad series, with a few more that happened over the next few months. The last was a 2-week training camp at the Stellenbosch Academy of Sport in May. We know the effect that that has on our local athletes. Well, speaking of which, Olympic 100-meter champion Marcel Jacobsen Tuesday withdrew from the European Athletics Team Championships in Poland later this month due to persistent sciatica. Now, Jacobs must take additional time for treatment and specific training until the problem is fully resolved. The Italian Athletics Federation said in a statement the 28-year-old is hoping to be in prime shape for the 19th to the 27th of August World Championships in Budapest after a difficult start to the season. Certainly know what he's capable of, and the Italian has twice pulled out of the showdowns with world champion Fred Curley due to this persistent back problem. So hopefully they will find a resolution, but that's where we leave our sporting headlines for this hour. Crazy weather today, not just in South Africa, I think across the globe, but let's get some warnings in and get a scope of our weather locally with Sozo.
Thank you, Graham. Well, brace yourself because the South African Weather Services have issued an orange level 6 warning for disruptive rain, leading to major disruptions of traffic flow that can be expected over the city of Cape Town and most parts of the Cape Winelands in the Western Cape today. An orange level 6 weather warning is issued before expected weather conditions that could significantly impact people, property and activity. Disruptive rain leading to localized flooding can also be expected over parts of the West Coast and the Cape Winelands and Overberg districts of the Western Cape. Over the mountainous areas, some 100 millimeters of rain is expected today. Strong gusty winds are also anticipated over much of the interior of the Western and Eastern Cape today and tomorrow. So please be safe today if you are heading out and about. Let's get a look at your temperatures, starting off in Limpopo. If you're in Polokwane, your low is 7, your high 24. Mbombela, 13, 29. Pretoria, sunny, 8, your low, 21, your high. Johannesburg, 619, Mahikeng, 1 with a high of 21. If you're in Klerksdorp, 4 is your low, 21 your high. Kimberley, 4 with a high of 20. Moving to KwaZulu-Natal, Bloemfontein, in fact, we're staying that side of the world. Bloemfontein, 0 with a high of 17. Now we head over to KZN, Richards Bay, 16 with a high of 28. Pietermaritzburg, 725. If you're in Durban, 16 with a high of 25 can be expected. Mthatha, 1123. East London, 1122. If you're in Cradock, a low of 9 and a high of 17 can be expected. Also some windy conditions. If you're in Gqeberha, rainy conditions, a low of 11 with a high of 18. George, rain with a low of 9, a high of 17. Cape Town, rainy conditions, a low of 11, a high of 16. Worcester, loads of rain, 10 is your low, 14 your high. Sutherland, expect rain with a low of 4 and a high of 8 degrees Celsius today. And Uppington, you have a sunny day with a low of 6 and a high of 21. Well, those are your temperatures. Let's look at those sunrise views that we enjoy. Kicking us off for your 6 a.m. is Ruwayne from Johannesburg, enjoying a blissful view. Look at those peachy skies. Nina from Gordons Bay stepped outside and just look at those rainy clouds. Emil Jones from Johannesburg took a walk before he headed to work this morning and shared this photo with us. Margaret from Kenville is showing off a stunning perspective, absolutely loving the tall palm trees. It really is beautiful. Well, if you would love to share a good morning view with us, we would love to see it. Our number is 063 408 8863.
All right, someone's ready for match day. No, Father's Day's coming, and of course, we express our love for our dads through food. If you were a dad, one meal, what would it be?
It's breakfast for breakfast, breakfast for lunch, breakfast for dinner. That's
Beautiful.
what I want.
Well, you're not going to get it because you're not a dad, so you're going to help us make meals for the real dads here. Yes, my favorite steak, egg, and chips is on the way. Woohoo!
Oh, you can make my day. It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome.
We got caught having a conversation just as we came back in the kitchen. It's Wednesday, we're in the kitchen, which means it must be the culinary hotline bling! Ching, ching, ching! The fun's already started in the kitchen, but it's about to get so much better. We're talking about Father's Day, which is this weekend. And we're giving you all the inspiration you need for favorite meals, breakfast, lunch, dinner, whatever you need, it's happening right here. But we want all your voice notes. I want to know, what's your dad's favorite meal or that father figure in your life? And, you know, we want to get all the voice notes. Today's like a voice note day.
We want to feel the warmth and the love.
The warmth. Okay, and that magic number, 063-408-8863. Send it through. Today's the day you will get your magic voice note played on the show. But we also have a social media question, which G's going to read for us.
All right, so this came through from Roxanne Simbua saying, so we are spoiling my hubby, dad and father-in-law with a spicy crab curry, trotters and beans curry, and a lovely beef potjie course, accompanied by a traditional malva pudding and custard, plus some added decadence of a lovely peppermint tart and oh-so-famous milk tart. Only the best will do for our very own superheroes. That's insane. That's actually set the bar a little bit too high, I think, for most families.
Roxanne, can you please reply with your physical address? We will be there on Sunday for all of that.
But clearly there's some foodies in the family if you can roll like that. And then we've got Kula Katle saying a braai would make us bring us those memories and those warm flame. I feel you, man. I just went full braai talk, full flame, love. See, I do love a braai.
Yes.
I'm secretly hoping and wishing that we can just manifest a braai in studio. Just manifest.
If it happens, I'll be so grateful.
Something. So I wanted to chat about my favorite meal here because my gorgeous wife keeps asking me, what do you want? What do you want? What do you want for Father's Day? And I don't think most dads out there want a thing. We don't want stuff. We don't want more stuff. We can get our own stuff if we want things like that. I want time. And I want to eat my favorite things. I want time to eat my favorite things with my favorite people. That's
I was hoping to say that as well, with your favorite people.
Yeah, man, that's exactly it. So I've set you the task this morning, and it's going to be interesting to see how we pull this off of cooking me the perfect steak, because you're that guy.
Thank you.
Okay, so talk us through the preparation for the perfect steak, because this was the game changer for me.
Yeah, so
big time.
Time is actually the most important thing when it comes to steak. There's a few things you need to do before the time to ensure you get the perfect steak each and every time.
You're amazing. You're awesome. You're lekker. You just got to pump them up a little bit.
Yeah.
It's complimentary. This steak's complimentary.
Yes, it is. Okay, so let's talk about this. This is a sirloin, okay? Earlier in the week, we used the sirloin to actually make that panko crubbed Parmesan steak.
Beautiful.
So we're using sirloin again. For me, I love it because it's a good balance of a bit of that fat and then the lean meat. So what you're going to do, you're going to take your knife and you're going to score this fat. We love the fat that's on there. So we're just going to give it a little score, and we want to render that fat out. That's what's going to help it crisp up.
The flavor comes from the fat. So for me, why the marbling is so important, obviously from a flavor perspective, but you've got to allow that flavor to render out then. You know?
Absolutely. So G, I'm going to pass this to you. We're going to get this on the induction cooker. Who's here? Why is there a strange person in the kitchen? We don't know. Okay. So we're going to get that temperature up on our induction cooker. And you want to go really nice and high for this one. So we're going to go...
And that's the watchword with a steak, is high and fast.
Yes, exactly. So you've scored your fat now. You can hit it with a little bit of salt. And this is where you leave this steak. It's winter. Don't freak out at me, South Africa. This is the truth. You salt your steak, put a little cover on it, and you're going to leave it on the counter 3 to 4 hours.
100%.
It's fine. It's cold out there.
It has to happen. It has to. You don't understand the difference between the steak you've been making and a restaurant quality steak is
this resting part.
It really is. Yeah. And it's changed the game for me. I've even now got like an old colander that's become my steak protector.
The steak protector.
That now sits
the guardian of the steaks. Okay.
For the cats mainly, but
so
100%.
When I say 3 to 4 hours, if you're freaking out at home, think about it. If you have butter on your counter right now, it's hard. Okay?
For sure.
So 3 to 4 hours. In summer, you can leave it out for like an hour. Look at the difference between these steaks, okay? This steak, she's glossy, she's beautiful. This one is going to look like that in about half an hour.
When all the moisture comes out.
Has brought out the moisture in there, but it's not moisture as in water. It's a moisture that's going to help us really get a serious crust on the steak.
It's that sealing that in. There's that caramelization that happens. It's just, and you can literally tap it and get that crust, and then you know you're winning.
That's the thing. So hit it with a little bit of that oil in there. If you're using a griddle pan, you season your steak. Sorry, you oil your griddle pan, not your steak. Let's do a swapperoonie.
do it.
So I'm using induction today. Induction is quite cool because you can really regulate how hot the temperature
And it's
is.
instantaneous, which is
It's
great.
instantaneous. So what I do first, I'm going to fast forward this part.
Okay.
On that fat cap that we scored, okay, my hands are washed, but I prefer working my hands. You can kind of feel what's
For
happening.
sure, you need to feel. Meat is quite tactile. I find like a steak is very tactile.
Yeah.
You need to. I do the knuckle test.
You
to
do,
know if it's,
yeah.
And then I'm
yes,
like, dang,
exactly.
sorted, yeah.
So fast forward a little bit. The reason we're doing this is as the steak sits on its fat side, that's going to become brown, crispy, and delicious. Once that happens,
And flavor.
flavor, you'll see there's more fat in the pan from your fat cap. Drop it, don't touch it. Let it sit for 3 minutes. Okay, in 3 minutes you'll get that amazing crust. We're going to turn over, take it out. When you turn it over, let it cook for like just 2 minutes. That internal temperature is going to keep on cooking.
keep cooking
It has to rest. I'm going to call you back in a little later. So we're going to serve you the steak because I want it to be perfect. But it's all about time. We waited for the steak to rest before it went in.
Yeah.
We're going to wait when it comes out.
Yeah.
We took the time to season it before the time. It's all about time. You want a time?
You got it,
time.
baby. And then I get to spend the time. Well, it'll take me about 30 seconds to clean it up, but then you can savor these moments. I absolutely love the fact that a little bit of effort results in something absolutely beautiful like this. And for me, honestly, if my kids and my wife kind of put together a meal like this, even if it didn't come together perfectly, it would still be the perfect meal. I love it. Is there a way of knowing, you said about 3
Sure.
minutes. Is there a way that you can eyeball, that you can feel to know when time is right? Because I kind of feel like you turn it too soon, you're kind of ruining it a little
Exactly. So what's nice, you can use your senses. You'll see
Yeah.
as that little line at the bottom becomes a little more opaque, starts moving
For
up.
sure.
As soon as it's almost close to that halfway mark, that's when you turn it over. And people say only turn your steak over once. That's not true.
No, I'll
turn
do
it over as
twice.
much as you have to.
You know, you want to get that crust, and I often find that second burn gives it a better crust. But what I'll often do is if we've got a thick crust, because Linz and I, we've started moving towards enjoying kind of medium steaks because I feel more flavor. Just finish it off 180 in the oven for a couple of minutes just to let that fat render through again. But, buddy, absolutely beautiful, man.
I love that. I love that. There we go.
Can I adopt you into my family?
Anytime. Anytime.
I'm just going to say right now to my amazing studio team and foodies for pulling off minor miracles over the last 10 minutes. I love you guys. To Chef Clem, thank you for making my steak. I can't wait till this guy's had a little bit of a rest and it gets in my belly. We'll see you on the other side of this for more Father's Day inspiration. Hello, my friend. Hi.
Oh, well, listen, we are preparing for an extraordinary French experience and simply buy any of the Clover products and stand a chance to fully immerse yourself in an incredible adventure. From exquisite cuisine to sun-kissed beauty, 5 fortunate winners and their partners will say bon voyage as they leave the enchanting port of Marseille and embark on a luxurious voyage to the breathtaking paradise of Ibiza. Now, to set the mood in true French style, we are stepping onto our bowls battlefield where strategy and fun collide. Now, bowls, it really is just to bring that joie de vie to the French, and I feel like I butchered that saying, but it's all about the fun and games that it brings, and sport is one of those activities that really brings people together. So how does bowls work? Now, one presenter will start by throwing the smallest ball known as the jack, in our case, the blue ball, and then that will initiate the game. After throwing the jack, Ryle will then select his favorite bowl and attempt to get them as close to the jack as possible. Now, the winner is determined by the proximity of their bowls to the jack, and the closer the bowls, the higher the chances of winning. Are you ready?
I am ready.
Okay. Are we going to invite Graham in for this? Because we've
always
got
up for it,
3
Get
different...
involved, your brother. You
Okay.
need to play. You need to throw down.
So you're going to initiate the
wait.
game. I have to say, if any French citizens are watching this, this is our version of bowls,
Yes,
so
apologies.
please do not judge us or
The Saffron
slay us
version.
for this.
So this is the jack, right?
This is
guys?
our pretend
Okay, cool.
jack,
So this
yes.
is the ball that we need to get the
As
rest of our
close
balls
to.
the closest
As close to as
So I'm going to
possible.
set it anywhere on the course. Let's hope it actually stays on the turf for now.
Okay.
Come on, you got
Are you
this.
using turf? Did you use official jargon there?
Ah, it's leaving the
Okay, maybe
well,
Zoe can just help
okay.
us a little bit.
I'll grab it. I'll
I'd roll
grab
back,
it.
Brie. Might roll back. I don't know.
might be-
The winds are strong outside.
It
Just open
is,
that
and
door.
I'm a bit of a camber on the turf at the moment.
There's your jack.
Okay, it's
there's
good
our
to be
jack.
aware of that.
Right, so
Thank you.
G-Man, you can choose your color balls. Which
We
one
have
is it going to be?
Beacon
Orange,
of
white, or
Hope
pink?
as well.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. I'm going to
She's
go.
going for?
He's going for the white ball.
White, all right. I'm going to
Okay.
take pink That's going to be my designated color. Zoe,
I'll
you
be
want
orange.
Okay, good luck, guys.
Man, you're first.
All right, sure.
Composure, hey? Composure.
Yeah, I've often thought bowls is a game of temperament, which I don't really have.
This is a cool team building exercise.
is.
I've seen a lot of companies do this.
I'm just saying, guys, there's some good money in bowls, eh?
Ooh, the weight is good. Oh,
Oh, my bias went the wrong way. Eh?
So you want to go next?
Okay.
All right. I was so competitive. I saw
I
that look in
know.
her eye. Ooh. The weight was just off. You
okay.
guys noticing this little camber here?
Yeah,
Yes.
you learn a lot from your first throw, hey?
Body these the French way. Okay, I'm gonna put a little bit of
Nice.
spin on this.
That body positioning is
Yes, lads.
fantastic.
Yes, lads. Go with it. Go with it. Go
Oh,
with it.
just needed a bit
Come
more.
on.
Okay.
Eh?
Oh,
All right.
okay.
One more chance. It looks like G-Man's leading,
Right,
by the way.
Come on, come
No,
on.
no, no, he needs to be on the turf.
Got to be on the
True,
turf,
true,
yeah.
true.
All right.
In this case.
Ooh. Oh, it's good.
Oh, where's my camber? Come on.
Stay.
Ah.
It was inches.
Oh, it's a game of inches, well.
It
It's a
is.
game of inches, my
That's a game of
friend.
inches. That one's
Every
oh, this is
Oh,
good.
oh, that's.
Whoa.
Oh, we might have it. We might have it.
Ooh, well done.
Now you've got to give that.
This is the French clap on the side, on the side, yes.
Let's see if I can get
Beautiful.
there.
Absolutely amazing.
We
Come on,
will.
buddy.
Get in the game here.
World
Take Zoe
champion.
off
World
the
champion.
pedestal.
World champion.
Weight is
Wow.
good. Direction, is it there?
Oh!
Stay.
Ah, and South Africa go crazy.
And I beat
Ryle.
Yes.
Well done.
He's going to make us play again now. You realize that.
Until she does.
Oh,
That was
did you guys
awesome.
enjoy
Thanks,
that?
guys.
I think we can make it as a daily bowls tournament.
We didn't play the proper bowls, you know, with the proper ones. But listen, if you want to play a game of bowls in France, enter Clover's very exciting rugby experience competition. Simply buy any Clover product and keep your till slip handy. Then dial *120 *560# and follow the prompts. Now keep watching Expresso daily for more fun and also to find out more. There are some T's and C's that can be found on clover.co.za.
All right, guys, winner takes all.
Yeah, okay, let's do it.
Last shot.
Let's do it.
Let's go.
Let's put some money on it, man. Come on.
Only you can make my day. It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Oh, yes, Mzansi, welcome back. Your feel-good breakfast show. And let me tell you, this next gentleman is going to absolutely inspire. We're talking about Kobus Visser. He's a multi-hyphenated professional. Well, he's an author, a speaker, a trainer, a facilitator, a life coach, a firewalker, an instructor who is dedicated to helping individuals, business leaders, and people with disabilities. But perhaps the job he holds most dearly is being a father to 2 boys. Now, Cobus has had to face so many challenges in his life, including living with the painful condition of hemophilia. Now, this morning he's joining us to share his absolutely inspirational story of fatherhood and reaching the levels he has despite the adversities. My man, good morning. How are you doing?
Good morning. I'm doing good. Happy to be in Cape Town and excited to be on the show today.
Yeah, dude, I just believe that what you have done is absolutely incredible, but let's just take it straight back. You're diagnosed with hemophilia, right? When was this? A few years back, when you were a kid already, right?
Yes, when I was born. You know, we
Okay.
knew it was part of the family, and hemophilia is a bleeding disorder. So
Yeah.
I live in pain 24/7. Because of all of the bleedings over the years, my joints basically have disintegrated. You know, you can see my elbows can't go straight anymore,
wow.
can't touch my shoulder. And
I'm noticing your elbow there, it's got a bit of inflammation. Is that obviously because of this, right?
yeah, you know, yesterday carrying all the bags and driving, it sort of affects the joint. And it's the same with my ankles, same with my knees. You know, every joint is that. And I also bruise very easily.
Yeah. Now, I know people that are in this position, there's not a lot you can do because obviously, like you mentioned, you bruise easily. Internal bleeding is a real thing, and that can happen so easily amongst so many other things. However, you somehow managed to deal with this. Not only just deal, but in a weird way, in my opinion, you thrive beyond any other individual, so much so that you were able to embark on a crazy journey. You go and attempt Kilimanjaro, not Table Mountain, not Lion's Head. The man's like, okay, well, with this crazy thing that's going on with me, I'm gonna go attempt a mountain like this. How did achieving that change your mindset? How did that change your journey and also your understanding of this? Is it even a disability? Do you see it as that anymore?
Kilimanjaro was important, and just to know, I climbed it with my crutches at that time, you know,
Oh,
because
wow.
I couldn't walk. For a few years, I couldn't walk, and I set myself this big goal, you know, of climbing a mountain. I wasn't planning on climbing it, but I did it for my mindset, you know, for leaving a legacy. You know, my journey started with my son, you know, and just to share with you, my son, when the second son was on his way, didn't know it was a boy.
Yeah.
And so he drew 2 little babies, and he said, Dad, I don't want a little sister. And he had a crossover. And he said, Dad, I want a little brother that can play with me because you can't. He came to his mom, to me, and then to me, and I had a big crossover. And at that moment, he said, Dad, you are dead to me. And that's where my journey started, where I realized there must be something more to life. I need to impact my son. And I think that was part of Kilimanjaro, was to say, not over-conquering my mind, but teaching my boys, you know, no matter your challenges, if you focus your mind on achieving something, you can do anything.
Man, that is absolutely powerful stuff. Thank you for sharing that. I can't even imagine what it must feel like to be faced with something like that where your son just wants someone to play with him. You've gone above and beyond, though, and you've been able to do that and much more of late. What does that mean to you? Firstly, having the ability to share these moments with your children, and what does that sort of mean to you in terms of fatherhood as well?
I think it's empowering them. You know,
Yeah.
my boys also have walked on fire and broken glass and
Are you
all that.
serious? Okay.
You know, my little boy the other day was in a swing and he was swinging and he jumped off thinking he's Superman. And he broke his arm
Jeez,
because
okay.
he's walked on fire. He says, Dad, if I can walk on fire, I can do anything. And I said, but you hurt yourself. He says, Dad, it's okay. I'm building memories. And I think that is what it's
love
about.
that.
And what I realized in my journey is, let's create memories. Let's be present in the moment. And, you know, part of Kilimanjaro taught me 2 things. One is whatever it takes. No matter you're living without excuses, without blaming or anything, is to say, I will do whatever it takes. Now, other part of the journey on Kilimanjaro, I almost died. And I actually went to die on the mountain. And in the end of the day, I did die. And I was sort of reborn, and I came back with a new zest of life. And I think that's where live without regret comes from. You know, we only have one life, and we have to make it count because it can be taken so much easier way. So let's live without regret.
I absolutely love that. And we're ripping it right now. I love this, whatever it takes. This is something absolutely special, man. On top of this, I want to talk about something that I think really relates to the show right now. And father figures, they have such an impact on us. And I think we can relate here in terms of our fathers being potentially a little bit more old school in terms of not necessarily always vocalizing the way they feel. And I think you mentioned just during the COVID period was one of the first times that he gave that affection and mentioned something in terms of the way he feels. How important is something like that for you? I mean, I know for me as a kid, it's something that you always want to do for your dad. You want to impress them. You want to make them proud. Was this something you had with you in this journey? I mean, facing adversity and then also wanting to get that affection from your father, was that an important principle too?
Yeah, I think so. I tell people only the memory that I have is just in COVID, we spent so much time together every morning walking. And it felt like the first time he told me he loves me, and he cares for me. And I think that is so special. We all aim for that, to be loved by our fathers.
Yeah.
And so on this journey, I learned something that I teach my sons, where every time when they see me, they want to do it. It's called a hug. Sometimes we have to build that connection. And I want to teach South Africa, it's a 3-step process. One is you have to make eye contact, and we say, Sawubona.
Sawubona.
I see you, South Africa. The next step is heart to heart. We've been taught so much that men has to be strong. And so when we hug, we usually take our hand and we hug like that. But it's keeping our hearts far away because we want to protect ourselves and we don't want to be vulnerable. And part of this journey is to make ourselves vulnerable and give love. And so we hug heart to heart. That's the second step. The third step is to breathe in and breathe out in that moment. It's all that it takes is a moment. Sometimes we don't have to say words, but we just have to have that few seconds to connect. And like my sons, every time they see me, they say, like, Dad, look here, I want my hug.
Oh, I absolutely love it. Kurfasa, thank you so much for coming through this morning. It doesn't stop here. You've been an inspiration, someone that has dealt with pain in an absolutely phenomenal way and that has come above and beyond. And I can't wait to see what you do on the show. I believe you're going to be going through an actual experience walking on glass. This is insane. Mzansi, don't go anywhere. This man's going to continue to inspire in just a bit, and we'll see you for it. Nice stuff, man.
Oh, thank you, gentlemen. Well, listen, let's continue to celebrate those father figures in our life.
Introducing new Panado Pediatric Syrup 5ml sachets. They're really convenient to pack and easy to use, so you're always prepared for pain and fever, anytime, anywhere.
Well, we are putting the spotlight on dads because a dad is a son's best friend and a daughter's first love. Now, nominate your amazing dad for a special dose of care, and they could stand a chance to win 2,000 Rand, like our next guest. Congratulations to Noel Nyango, who is our lucky winner for today. And his daughter, Mikongelo, commented on the post and nominated her dad, saying, "My dad is the best. He's an involved dad who teaches me what is important in life by demonstrating honesty, humility, and responsibility about right and wrong, and encourages me to do my best always." Hashtag Panado SA, hashtag a dose of care. Now we have a dad and daughter on the line. Mikongelo, good morning. Are you there?
Good morning to all presenters and everyone that is watching.
Oh, thank you. We actually have your dad on the line as well. Noel, good morning.
Morning.
Oh, listen, I'm so excited, but Mikongelo, I'm going to start off with you. While we've got your dad on the line right now, what are some of your best memories that the two of you have together?
My best memories with my dad is when he taught me, after I passed my license, is when he taught me how to drive, took me for driving lessons. That was the best moment because now I'm able to drive.
Oh, that's incredible. Noel, how was that experience from a dad's perspective, teaching your daughter how to drive?
Such a priceless moment. Though it was a little bit hectic, so I really enjoyed.
Oh, that's amazing to hear. Now, Mikongelo, why is sharing this dose of care with your dad so important, and why do you love him so much? Maybe you can give him a pre-message leading up to Father's Day.
My dad is a hero, a hard work. He goes out of his way every day to support all his loved ones. And I have acknowledged that and recognized that caring isn't always easy as it sounds. Every day, he goes out of his way to support us. He's an involved full-time dad. That's why I love him so much.
Oh, that just warms my heart. Well, Mikongelo, congratulations on nominating your dad, Noel. Noel, this 2,000 Rand dose of care from Panado, it is yours. Enjoy your Father's Day this coming weekend, and of course, enjoy the time that you have with each other. And for you, you can give your dad a dose of care this Father's Day. They are very deserving of this love and, of course, this care.
Being a parent can be challenging, but stepping out is when things get real complicated. That's why new Panado Pediatric Syrup 5ml sachets are here to make the job easier. They're really convenient to pack and easy to use, so you're always prepared for pain and fever, anytime, anywhere. Panado, a dose of care.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back, you beauties. In case you missed the memo, Father's Day is on Sunday. And if you're struggling to settle on that perfect gift for your perfect dad, you're in luck. We've got the Pedros in studio because we love them so much. And they're here to give us the ultimate Father's Day gift guide to suit your budget. That is all important, Megs. Welcome, buddy.
Thank you.
I'm back.
I know, you're the hookup. You are our Father's Day connection today, or at least mine. I love it. So, guys, we're going to walk through some kind of budgetary levels, if you will, which is fantastic. It means that there are options for every budget and something special for every dad. So maybe let's start with the 150 range here. A nice entry level. It shows that you care and you can still get something really high quality. What do you guys got?
Okay, I love this. So Woolies is essentially your one-stop shop, right? We like to categorize dads when I feel like we are creating gifts, because that's the best way to kind of curate a gift. So you go for the foodie dad, there's a whole lot of different things. For the self-care dad, there's a whole lot of different things. So let's start with 150. What I love about 150, you can gather quite a few of these gifts, stuff a mug with something, and then, you know, dad's got a lot of different surprises. I love that. So right now for 150, we have banana cotton socks. What I love about these and the prints is that dads often wear a very tonal look. A conversation starter is the sock.
Oh, for sure.
So you literally, you know, pop up your feet. There's bananas, there's avos, there's basketball players. There is such cool prints on your socks.
And you know what I do every day when I am at home with my kids is I get my daughter to choose the socks for me.
Oh, that's
which is
sweet.
the coolest thing. Oh, stop it. No, stop it, man. I know I'm the best dad ever that ever lived. No, but it is. It's so cute, and it does become that. It becomes like your little like totem for the rest of the day. Every time I need a pickup, I just look at my little socks.
Get everybody to give a big
Oh, man. I love it. Socks for the win.
Well, talking about, you know, greatest dad, we've got a mug for you, which literally reminds you of that every single day. So it says it on the mug. You don't have to forget it. It's right there.
Beautiful.
So, I mean, in this weather as well, perfect. Hot chocolate, dad's coffee in the morning. And then can we miss out snacks? No, we absolutely can't. Okay, the foodie dad. My dad is a big hiker, so I love putting together a whole lot of different treats so that he is pumped and ready to go.
Snack pack that he can take with him on the
100%. Because he will forget about snacks, where I have to have a snack break at every single, you know, incline. So we've got snap sticks, we've got your chuckles. It needs no introduction, right? And then, of course, your beautiful selection. So that's also a bit of a sharing thing if dad does, you know,
it's an investment in yourself as much as your dad. I like that. And they're all quite premium as well, which is awesome for 150.
That's your 150. Let's jump to 250 over here. So we're going to more of your sleepwear range. So we're starting with slippers. I mean, this is a timeless, you know, shape. I absolutely love these. And then we've got a beautiful cotton, warm, long sleeve sleepwear top, with a Henley collar. So it's really nice. It's got a button down, which is great. And then I always say the gift that keeps on giving, right? The Braai tongue. Because you will benefit from that. Right?
Oh,
So
for sure. No, and it is. It's something that you can keep and use forever. And there's kind of a spiritual connection. You must see my Braai tongs are old, man. But I can't let them go. No, they're an extension of my arm. You
100%. And I also think a gift is a great thing that when you already amplify something that dad already uses, it's a great gift. It's, you know, it's just a step up, an upgrade, which is great.
For sure, I like that as
and
well.
And then I really love this. I was kind of spraying it on Clem earlier.
Oh no, that was a little bit aggressive. You were like, come here, Clem.
I mean,
where's the scent?
This is a great scent.
And it's such a dad scent. It's such a dad scent, right?
Come here, give me a dad hug.
We're manifesting
dad hug. It's such a like iconically dad scent.
I'm gonna have to come back for little top-ups.
There we go.
Oh,
Why do you
man,
think
I love that.
Yeah,
exactly.
Great spicy,
She's manifesting.
citrus.
Yeah,
Love
exactly.
it.
That's beautiful.
And then, of course, the huge snack pack of Woolworths. I mean, you can never go wrong with that.
Oh, for sure.
That's a staple.
I'll get one piece of that. I will get one piece. The rest will be distributed amongst the young.
So would you, actually.
Okay, me too. Okay.
I love that. We are winning. This is great.
Right.
Guys. Okay, what you got?
Let's talk about the 350 category. So I'm going to start off picking up from that biltong from the Woolworths we left off. Let's talk about the biltong, and it's the snap sticks.
The big daddy snap sticks,
The big daddy. Then we're going to go with the mules because slippers are really, really cool. I'm more of a mules person. Quick, slip out
on,
access.
slip on. Yeah.
You know, do what you got to do.
You kind of feel like the Don a little bit when you
Yes, I do like that. Then, along with that, we've also got the drawstring pajama pants, which are absolutely amazing. And they cuffed at the bottom. These are the pants you're allowed to wear all day on Sunday. Okay, then we've got the barber set. Absolutely amazing. I've got that. I use that. That's 350. Moving over to the 450, we got the Democratic Republic of Braai. Yeah, and Braai, there we go.
Bible.
We've got our money plant, we loved so much. We've got our floating wood frame. So beautiful. We got the Clarence shaving foam. It's what I use.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Clarence for the win.
Then we're got a pullover because, I mean,
guys.
every dad needs like the full set of like every single color of pullover. It's absolutely, feel that quality.
I was going to say, guys, you don't understand the feel, the texture. You get a sense of the premium quality, regardless of your price point. Everything is premium.
Exactly.
Beautiful.
What another dad hug.
Oh, I do want another dad hug, man. This is amazing. Heart to heart, my friend. Guys, this is absolutely beautiful. Is there anything else we want to squeeze in before? I want to make sure we haven't forgotten anything. But
one last thing.
Absolutely, yeah.
Back in the 350, almost left it out. The ficus ginseng. This is iconic for Dad's desk. Have to get it. This and the money plant.
Sorted. I've got 2 of those bonsais. Absolutely love it. From little treats to luxe spoils to stuff that speaks to your dad's heart. Woolworths has the perfect gift for every dad and every family, in-store, online, and of course on their amazing app. Plus, get this, you get the chance to win a 1,000 Rand Woolies gift card. Simply reply to the competition post on the Expresso Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram pages and tell us this. If you had the chance to do something special for your dad or your father figure, how would you spoil him? And don't forget to include hashtag Woolies Father's Day. The competition closes today at midnight, so you've got to get on it. There are going to be a lot of entrants after seeing all of this. And you can find all those T's and C's, expressoshow.com. Pedros, you've outdone yourself.
Thank you.
Just one more. Just one more.
Mzansi, we're back in the studio with the Viking that does it all. We're talking about Kobus Visser, the author, the speaker, the trainer, the facilitator, the life coach, and fire walking instructor. Now, we don't have fire in studio, but we do have glass. And Kobus is going to be showing us how we can walk over sharp shards of glass. And I'm doing it too. So before we even get into this, Kobus, why would one do such a thing? Why would you put yourself through something like this? This is something, especially for you, that is probably the most dangerous thing you could do because you have hemophilia. Let's remind everyone of that. That means that you get cut, you will bleed, and it does not stop, amongst many other things. Why would you put yourself through an obstacle and a challenge like this? What's the point?
First thing, people shouldn't do this at home, right?
Yes.
Get a professional to do it. Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah.
I think it teaches us a lot of things in life. Is to be present.
Okay.
Right. One thing I learned on Kilimanjaro when I was lost, and I asked the guy, I can't see, I don't know where I'm going. He said, "Can you see your next step?" And I said, "Yes." And he says, "Focus on giving your next step." So focus on giving your step slowly, one at a time, pole, and then before you get at the end, to get off. And there's a lot of lessons in this.
Yeah.
When you start this journey, you might feel like you're going to lose your balance.
I'm telling you now, I feel nervous and I'm scared and I'm anxious. That's how I feel right now. And that's kind of like any obstacle you face in life, right?
Yeah.
That feeling of like, how am I going to do this thing? It's impossible.
Yeah, but it also realizes what is on the mind, that little voice that you feed that doesn't believe in you anymore. Gandhi says everything starts with a belief. That becomes our thoughts, that becomes our words, and that creates our destiny. By changing, if you can do this safely, what other beliefs can you challenge and question and overcome and create the destiny you so desire?
I like that. So practicing the impossible.
And well done for saying that you're up for the challenge.
I am. I mean, what better way to try this? I have never done this rope. I just want to make sure that Mzansi understands that this is a real challenge. This is real sharp glass. Maybe we can get somebody to test it here. Yeah, perfect. So you want to grab that?
Yeah.
This is real glass, just by the way, guys. Check this out. It does cut.
It goes in there.
And that reminds me very much of like someone's foot, the same texture. So let's hope that doesn't happen.
And
right,
if you see, this is real glass. I'm going to drop it. You're going to hear it. 1, 2, 3.
And it broke. Okay.
And it broke, yes.
Okay, all right. So take me through this. How are we doing this? What's happening?
I think the first thing is to realize what is it you are doing this for. You have to do it for a reason, so that you anchor this moment, because if you can do this, you can do
anything.
So what you're going to do is first you're going to put your weight on it, right? Not the whole weight. I'm going to have my hand out, because in life it teaches us that when you step, you're going to start losing balance. It's okay to ask for help. In life, we're not meant to go through it alone. I think a lot of men need it, to say, I need help. Yeah. And then before you get off, Graham is going to then wipe your feet. And that's to teach you that don't look down on the guy serving you, because there's going to be a point where you're going to have to serve someone on their journey.
Oh, This is power. This is more than just walking on glass right now. This is something that I'm here for. I can tell you now, I feel scared, I feel nervous, and I'm sure, Mzansi, you can relate to these feelings right now. This is what we all feel when we're going through incredible challenges like this. But, Kobus, I'm ready. I believe.
The thing is, if I say, are you ready, you say, born ready.
Born ready.
Yeah.
I love that. Okay.
Okay. Remember, do it for that reason.
Okay.
So one step at a time. And you will realize when you step that you will realize how easy it is. And that fear is only in the mind. And you're becoming fearless and courageous at the same time. And as you know, I've got your back. So one more step, and I'm gonna ask Graham to come in. Because today Graham is serving you as he takes the brush. Maybe just over there, just wipe it down, make sure there is no blood. Okay, that's the first one. There's no glass on it. What? Then you step off, and then the other foot.
Thank you, my friend.
And remember to celebrate. Did you realize how easy that was, huh?
Hold on. Let me just take this in. Thank you. Oh. Sure. Oh, man. Whoa, that is power.
Can I get a hug, man?
Wow. That is insane. Man, I felt the need to have you there and to have your assistance. But the minute I knew I had support and I had that extra belief in me, it made it so much easier. It felt like the challenge was easy. And once I took that first step, it just got easier and easier and easier. Mzansi, this is your obstacle in life. This is your challenge. This is your adversity. And this is everything that you can overcome. Believe in yourself and breathe. Man, thank you so much.
Thank you, buddy.
You're an absolute legend.
Yes.
Now you can generously give a voice to Storytime. Visit our library of homegrown audio stories at cadbury.co.za.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back. Yes, the smile is wide right now. You know, I know, we all know how much we love coffee on the show, but how much do we know about the coffee itself? Bit of a gut check moment for me today. Today we are embarking on a full coffee masterclass to learn everything from the different types of beans right down to how to make, hopefully, how to make a cappuccino ourselves. And here to share his considerable expertise is a serious coffee lover, coffee professional, one of the best in the biz, Paul Jacobs from Jacobs. I'm not going to be able to let it go. Can we get a round of applause for the man who's brought all the coffee this morning? Oh, buddy, I think you've found your happy place.
Yeah, and I'm certainly the right type of person to be around on a time like this.
Exactly, buddy. Thank you so much. I have this feeling that they searched the whole land until they could find a Jacobs that was this into coffee, man, which they've done. Buddy, thank you so much for joining us and helping us to learn more about the fine art that coffee making is, and well, the production of the coffee in itself. There are a couple of fundamentals that we need to get down here before we start making our own coffee and hopefully make a cappuccino. Let's get into the beans and kind of the source. So Arabica, Robusta seem to be the two names that dominate the space. What's the difference between those two? What informs that?
Sure. Well, Arabica is the most common purely because of its popularity. I mean, Arabica is a milder, fruitier, more pleasant sort of coffee experience.
Accessible.
Also that. Originated in Ethiopia. Now Brazil is the largest producing country of Arabica. An incredibly popular coffee. Second to that would be your Robusta, which has always sort of been perceived as lower in quality, but that's not necessarily the case. It is a lot harsher in terms of sort of taste profile, higher caffeine level as well. So if you want that kick in the morning,
hence the name,
grab the Robusta.
Exactly, yeah.
No, it definitely packs a punch. But both are lovely coffees, and you know the craftsmanship comes in when you actually start to blend these coffees. Add a bit of Robusta to bring out the complexities of the Arabica and so forth. So they each have their place.
And I think often we don't think about that blending process or how there is a production line from literally growing the plant to getting it to this point. But there are so many little nuances in how that journey can play out. When we look at a dark and a light roast, that kind of, to me, immediately I'll go, light roast seems like a lighter taste, dark roast seems like a more intense. Is that right? Is that just a...
You spot on. You spot on there. But... contrary to popular belief, is a lighter roast coffee will contain more caffeine in it than a dark roast.
Oh, wow.
Because the longer you roast coffee, the more moisture you draw out of that coffee. So a light roast coffee hasn't undergone a long roasting process, which means it's got more moisture in it. It's a heavier bean. So it's got more of a kick. So although it tastes lighter, it actually packs more of a punch than a darker roast bean, which has almost burnt off the caffeine, if that makes sense.
This is an interesting thing for a guy who is creating these wonderful creations. I don't know how else to describe them. You've constantly got to be thinking about that balance of caffeine and flavor and strength in every cup that you're making. How difficult, is this an area that we get right here in South? Because we love to think of ourselves as coffee snobs.
Oh, yes.
But I'm pretty easygoing. I love a good coffee, and it can come in any guise or form. Is that where the magic really happens?
Look, it's one piece of the puzzle. You know, coffee is all about preference. I can't tell you how to drink a coffee. You like your coffee in a certain way. As most of the crew here, we all individuals.
Say all of the crew do.
No. At this hour, everyone here is on their coffee, I can tell you that. But yeah, it's one piece of the puzzle. I mean, if we look at these two coffees, so this is a sort of lighter roast in comparison to the darker roast here. You can quickly see the difference in terms of color. Your darker roast bean, you can also see, is a lot oilier because those natural oils inside the coffee start to exit the bean. Whereas a medium roast, this is actually a medium roast, you'll see no visible oil or very, very little visible oil. So, you know, visually you can tell the difference. But yeah, in terms of strength and taste, dark roast is definitely going to give you a full, rich, dark chocolate sort of experience.
I love that. And then you can really give your palate what it wants, what it craves every morning, not just about the caffeine, but about that flavor profile. Speaking of the caffeine, though, how does decaffeinated coffee work? Is that roasting it to the point that there's just no moisture or caffeine left, or how do you get that right?
So, look, there are multiple processes. I would say the most commonly used process would be CO2 processing. So what they do is they take the green bean, unroasted green beans, they submerge it in hot water, but hot water under pressure. What happens is the bean starts to swell up and becomes porous. Think of a sponge.
Yeah, for sure.
What happens then is they add carbon to that water, and the carbon molecules latch onto the decaf and almost grab them and pull them out. You discard the water and the carbon dioxide, you're left with wet beans, which they dry, roast, and serve in your cup.
You know, you've just figured out the meaning of life. You know, we're mainly carbon-based, okay? There is a reason why we just bond with coffee and pull the caffeine out. I think you figured it out. Your knowledge base is awe-inspiring, buddy, but what I've heard from the professionals in the room is that your ability to make a coffee is unsurpassed, and I'm hoping you can pass a little bit of that on to us as we're going to whip up a cappuccino with all of the trimmings a little bit later, but we're going to put this knowledge to good use, and that is the key here. You know what you like. Now go and find the coffee that matches your palate and strength.
New Jacob's Barista Editions, our premium range of slow roasted coffees that even baristas use at home. Coffee shop quality at home.
Well, now that we are officially all charged up, it's just gone past the hour and it's time to head over to official duties, and starting with national news headlines. Now, the head of diplomacy at the Department of International Relations and Cooperation, Clayson Monyela, says the SA government has noted the letter from US Congress members to US Secretary of State Antony Blinken, but says there's no decision by Washington yet to move the AGOA forum from SA. Now, the African Growth and Opportunity Act, otherwise known as AGOA, offers certain countries preferential access to the massive US market. The letter cites SA's stance on Russia's invasion of Ukraine as a reason why the AGOA forum should be moved from SA. Well, sticking to national headlines, China's ambassador to SA, Shen Xiaodong, says China wishes to help SA overcome the electricity crisis. Now, Shen said this at a conference on cooperation between SA and China concerning energy. And energy experts and Chinese investors discussed possibilities to speed up the implementation of renewable energy as a countermeasure for the continuous power outages. Now, SA has already started a process of transition from coal to renewable energy, such as sun and wind. And a number of Western countries have also already pledged 8.5 billion rand in the form of low-interest loans to South Africa. Well, from our national news headlines, it's time to head over to international news. Now, Donald Trump, who turns 77 today, has pleaded not guilty in a federal court in Miami, Florida, to historic charges of mishandling sensitive files. Now, Trump is the first U.S. president, current or former, to be hit with a federal criminal indictment. Now, this was the second time Trump had appeared in court this year, and a lawyer for Trump entered a plea of not guilty on 37 accounts of illegally retaining classified documents and obstructing the government's efforts to retrieve them. Well, carrying on with international headlines and heading to Africa right now, the Eritrea has rejoined the East African Regional Bloc, the Intergovernmental Authority on Development, otherwise known as the IGAD. Now, after pulling out 16 years ago, Eritrea has taken its seat at the ongoing IGAD summit in neighboring Djibouti. Now, Eritrea suspended its membership of the body in 2007 in protest against Ethiopia's military intervention in Somalia. Now, IGAD's members are Djibouti, Eritrea, Ethiopia, Kenya, Somalia, South Sudan, Sudan, and Uganda. Well, lastly in our headlines, something that might excite a lot of music lovers. Sir Paul McCartney says he has employed artificial intelligence in 1980. I know a lot of us are definitely looking forward to that. And something else we look forward to is, of course, the sport headlines. And here's G with the latest.
Thank you so much, Raul. Let's kick off with the rugby news, and fantastic news. The Sharks on Tuesday confirmed the signing of former Springbok winger Aphiwe Jantyi, the 28-year-old, playing 13 tests for the Springboks between 2018 and 2019 before his career was halted by a 4-year doping ban. Well, he will soon become eligible to play again, and the Sharks have wasted no time in acquiring the uber-talented speedster services. Now, before his ban, Jantyi had been on the books of the Lions and was playing a dominant role for the Johannesburg franchise in their resurgence in Super Rugby. He is a superstar in the making. So good to see him back out on the field. Now, a superstar who's already made it, Kylian Mbappe, says he has not asked to leave Paris Saint-Germain this summer, and that the letter he sent to the club was leaked with the aim of damaging his image. So the football forward has also taken to Twitter to brand reports that he wants to join Real Madrid this summer as, quote, lies, adding he is, again, quote, very happy with the French champions. Now, Mbappe says PSG were first told on the 15th of July last year of his decision to reject the extension. An official correspondence has followed to that effect this week, with Mbappe saying the only aim of the letter was to confirm what had already been spoken about, and it has been misused. Now we bring it back home to get very excited about netball, and Proteas coach Norma Plummer is confident that her side will be well and ready when the world descends on the country for the Vitality Netball World Cup. So Cape Town is the host city where 16 countries will be vying for that coveted title of the best netballing nation on the globe. That will take place over 10 days, and the Proteas have had several camps leading up to the global showpiece, looking pretty strong starting last December ahead of the Quad Series, with a few more that happened over the next few months. The last was a 2-week training camp at the Stellenbosch Academy of Sport in May, a very happy hunting ground. Now we turn to international athletics. Not the best story for Olympic 100-meter champion Marcel Jacobs, who on Tuesday withdrew from the European Athletics Team Championships in Poland later this month due to persistent sciatica. So Jacobs must take additional time for treatment and specific training until the problem is fully resolved. The Italian Athletics Federation said this in a statement yesterday. The 28-year-old is hoping to be in prime shape for the 19th to the 27th of August World Champs in Budapest. After a difficult start to the season, the Italian has twice pulled out of showdowns with world champion Fred Curley due to a back problem. Well, that's where we leave our sport for this hour. The roads should be waking up. Let's get the latest from Zoe.
Oh, and it is busy. Let's start off with your roads in Johannesburg. If you're traveling in Diepkloof, there's protests in the Diepkloof interchange. Expect road closures on Chris Hani Road between Colander Road and the N12 exit. This is causing heavy delays in and around the area, so please do plan accordingly. Staying in Johannesburg, this time in Germiston, there's been a multi-vehicle accident on the N3 northbound. It's at the Geldenhuys interchange and the right lane is closed. There is slow-moving traffic, so please allow for extra travel time. Moving to Cape Town, in Mowbray, there is flooding on the N2 inbound before Rappenburg Road. The right lane is closed. Please approach carefully and do expect delays this morning. And if you're in Bellville, in Cape Town, there's a tree that has fallen onto the road, and that's at Frans Conradie Drive. Please avoid this road and use an alternative route. In Gordons Bay, the road has been closed on the R44 Clarence Drive between Gordons Bay and Roy Els, and this is due to rock falls. Please use an alternative route this morning. Well, that's a first look at your traffic. Let's take another look at your weather. And we start off with some environmental news. Standard Bank yesterday was denied investing in an East African crude oil pipeline. On Monday, some 100 climate activists gathered outside the bank's head office in Rosebank, Johannesburg, ahead of its annual general meeting. About 15 of them managed to gain access to the building and tried to block the entrance to the venue. The group, called Extinction Rebellion, said they wanted the bank to stop investing billions of rand on fossil fuels and instead invest in renewable energies and uplift the poor. This as rising temperatures, floods and extreme tropical cyclones have been linked to the changing climate. Now that is your bit of news for this morning. Let's take another look at your temperatures. In Polokwane, a low of 7 and a high of 24 can be expected. Mbombela, 13, 29. Pretoria, sunny, 8 your low, 21 your high. Johannesburg, 6 with a high of 19. Mahikeng, 1, 21. Klerksdorp, 4, 21. If you're in Kimberley, a low of 4 and a high of 24 today. Bloemfontein, 0 with a high of 17. Richards Bay, sunny, 16 with a high of 28. Pietermaritzburg, 7, 25. Durban, 16, 25. Mthatha, 11 with a high of 23. Partly cloudy conditions in East London, 11, 22. Cradock, 9, 17 with windy conditions expected. Gqeberha, rainy conditions, 11's your low, 18 your high. Wet in George today, 9 with a high of 17. Rain for Cape Town, 11 with a high of 16. Worcester, rainy with a low of 10, a high of 14. Sutherland, cool and wet, a low of 4 with a high of 8, and Uppington, a sunny day with a low of 6 and a high of 21. Well, those are your temperatures. We didn't forget about those sunrise views, so let's take a look at it. Starting off in Kimberley, Sherry shared a view of the blue sky with spots of pink tones. Louise from Alberton looked outside and saw this magnificent color glowing up the sky. Omi from Keymouth also enjoying beautiful hues, loving these winter sunrises. Amanda from Simonstown took a brisk walk this morning on the soft sand and decided to share this beautiful moment with us. Well, there you go. If you have a beautiful sunrise view to share with us, whether it's a photo or a video, we would love to see it. Our number is 063 408 8863.
Ooh, there's so much to talk about. We are processing. Today we are processing, and I would imagine you are processing a lot, buddy. It looked like when you walked on glass that a switch was flicked in you, dude. It looked like you verged across something.
I felt like I got baptized, bro. Honestly,
Really?
literally, like that moment there was such a symbolic moment of just every adversity, every challenge, every obstacle that we have in life was represented in that moment there. And that doubt initially, that constant, whoa, maybe it's not so bad. Hey, I've got support. Someone believes in me. I can do this. I've done this. I am powerful.
But when last did you doubt yourself physically, bro?
Wow, I gotta say, well, before that, I doubted myself, definitely.
About
but
5 minutes
man,
ago.
we don't need to doubt ourselves, and I think this is a message for you, Mzansi, especially on today's show as we are celebrating our fathers, celebrating the people that inspired us. You need to celebrate yourself. Don't forget that power you have within you, and just like Kobus said, take a deep breath, make eye contact, and just acknowledge that power you have inside of you.
I think I'm still in that hug with Kobus, actually. I think I've just stayed there. That's going to be my spiritual safe place for the rest of today. Absolutely beautiful. It's a path of self-discovery on the show today. Stick around, more Father's Day treats on the way. Oh.
Oh, Tata, maybe. You got married this weekend.
Just stop nonsense. To keep the men away.
Maripega, if you didn't stop nonsense and you were actually married, you'd be getting 50% off your monthly banking fees if you're in Javier and Michael's Plus account.
Yo, I'm gonna call my Mama Beza right now and tell her, Ziakala. Take it like that.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
to another installment of the Culinary Hotline Bling! Sing! So earlier we started on Graham's steak and it's looking really beautiful, but now we've got Zoe in the kitchen and this is your request. Why have you requested this?
For Dad for Father's Day. So just to give you background, my dad grew up with eating stews. That's the type of food my mom cooks, stews. So the other day I was telling him, ooh, I'm inviting the girls over for girls' dinner. I'm going to make a chickpea curry. And he was like, ooh, that's something he would love to have. So I thought for Father's Day, if I had to present him with a meal, it would be a chickpea curry. And I mean, I made it the other day. It is so easy, especially if you use like Indian-style tomatoes, the tin. It does all the work for you.
It does. Willie's, the Indian chopped tomatoes that have the spices in them with the coriander. It's an absolutely amazing way to get instant flavor in a can. So today, we're not going to add tomato to our curry.
Okay.
And you totally could if you wanted to. And it'll give it richness. It will bulk it up as well to feed more people. This one today, we're going to focus on the spice mix which we're going to make. And we're using a spice we don't use too often, which is mace.
Mace. I don't think I've heard of mace.
Not just a R&B star from the 90s.
Or what you would put in pepper spray.
Yes, it is.
Is that what they use?
It is. It absolutely is what they put in pepper spray.
So it's got like a nutmeg-like flavor.
Can I just give you a, oh my goodness.
No, I can't take credit for it. I saw it on the thing there.
I love your honesty. So,
I can't take credit for
mace, if you look at nutmeg, we know that nutmeg looks like a little like stone.
Yes.
Nutmeg grows around the stone. Oh, sorry, I was
you mean mace grows around the stone?
Sorry, mace grows around the stone. I was so impressed. I'll still be impressed. It's fine. Okay. So we've got in here, we've got the mace, which has got quite an unusual look. It looks almost like it could be like a chicken biltong type vibe.
Yeah.
It's not, though. So that's the mace.
Is it quite potent?
Yes, a little bit goes a long way. So in fact, I'm actually going to take some out. Just like nutmeg, a little bit goes a long way, so be careful. Okay, then inside we've got coriander, we've got cumin, we've got mustard seed, we've got black pepper. That's in here. So we're gonna, it's been toasted, so I'm gonna ask you to blitz it up. So
just the spices?
Yeah, just the spices. And it's been toasted. Toast your spices first. That way, you're gonna awaken all those oils that are inside the spices, and it's gonna come through more potently. Blitz it.
Blitz.
Nice.
Look at that.
In the pot already, I've got some canola oil, I've got some onions, I've got garlic, and I've got ginger. I just realized, unintentionally, we've got a plant-based dish.
Oh,
that's
fantastic.
amazing.
Oh.
Yeah, our one vegan in the studio just gave us a, woo! Okay, this is for him. Okay.
And you know what's amazing about chickpeas is you really, I mean, it's packed with protein. It's a great plant protein source, but also, this is incredible. We didn't even think this was a vegan dish.
So, protein, you said yes, and texture. Texture is a big thing. If you're eating plant-based, you've got to be careful with the textures, because you don't want to, you'll miss texture before you miss meat.
True.
So chickpeas are great for that. So chickpeas are going to join the garlic, ginger, and onions, and that's going to pick up some of the flavor that's in the pot at the moment.
A great tip I was shared that if you're going to use chickpeas out of the can, rinse it, and then rinse it once more. Because that residue that's sometimes in the chickpeas, that's what makes you feel bloated afterwards.
Okay, I didn't know that. The aquafaba.
Yeah.
Yeah, so some people use aquafaba for like making a plant-based egg white, but I didn't know that tip that it actually gives you a bit of the bloat. Okay,
yeah, so if you find that whenever you eat like canned food, like lentils or chickpeas, and you feel quite bloated afterwards, chances are you just need to rinse it a bit more.
There we go, I love it. Loving the tips. So we're gonna add some of the seasoning. Then what I did was I kept some of the seasoning, or actually I made this earlier, took some of the seasoning and I coated it on some pumpkin, and I roasted the pumpkin with that seasoning on there. The rest go into the pot. Pumpkin's great, it adds sweetness, it adds body, and something about Ralph told me once about pumpkin and balancing out blood levels, sugar levels. Have pumpkin. So,
have pumpkin.
There we go. So we've got the spice mix in there, and it's smelling so fragrant. There's a difference between spicy and spiced. This is spiced, okay? You could add some green chili in there if you want, or red chili to add some heat. This one's just got that beautiful...
Got flavor, not
the flavor, yes. Pumpkin. Oh, here's what makes it vegan. We're going with Woolies plain cultured coconut, which is, think yogurt, but it's plant-based. It's all made from coconut. That's going in there. That's just going to add...
going to give it a creamy element.
A creamy element, absolutely.
Ooh, look at that.
And that body. So that's going to go in. And just like oil which absorbs flavor, that's what the coconut's going to do. So that's going to get a mix. Can I grab the pumpkin? Once the pumpkin goes in, you're going to start folding. No more mixing. You don't want to break it up.
Okay. We want the pieces to stay chunky.
Together. Once you kind of see the oils come to the surface with that spice that's on there, you're gonna add your Swiss chard. As soon as that's cooked down, you're good.
You're ready to go.
Plate it up with salt. Oh yeah, salt's very important. Season, also you want to taste your spices.
Season.
On some rice, and that's it.
That looks incredible.
It'll taste amazing tomorrow. It'll taste amazing the next day. It'll taste even better the day after that. So make a big batch of it.
Make a big batch. If you want to add tomatoes to this, you can.
You can absolutely add tomatoes to it.
So with this spice profile that you've built up, would the Indian-style tomatoes be too spicy, or should you rather go with plain tomato if you're going to go the tin tomato route?
Yeah, you can go plain tomato, but if you got the Indian one, put it in. Put it in. It'll only make it better.
Oh, well, listen, this is incredible. Chef Clem, thank you for joining us today. This is our Father's Day edition of the Culinary Hotline Bling.
Ting, ting, ting!
Stay tuned for more recipe inspiration.
Do it like this. Do it like get it, move it, own it. Do it like this.
Bespoke.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back. Let me start this next segment by reading this quote for you. People do not decide their futures. They decide their habits, and their habits decide their futures. Let that sink in. If you applied the same philosophy to your money and consciously decided to build healthier financial habits today, can you imagine what your future, what your children's future might look like? And how to guide us on our journey towards making better money choices is the Executive for Financial Wellness and Advisory at Nedbank, Dr. Frank Magwegwe. Doc.
Thank you.
So good
Much
to have you
energy
here.
in the studio. Awesome to be here.
Well, you match our energy, sir.
Thank you.
Because you are purpose-driven.
Absolutely.
And the purpose could not be more important. I'm going to break this down. I'm going to oversimplify. Money coming in, money coming out.
Indeed.
How do we get more in and reduce the amount going out? Is it as simple as that equation?
Well, not as simple as that, but what we do at Nedbank is try to empower the consumer and make them feel as if it's very simple. You would know now how challenging the economic environment is. How interest rates have gone up. Anybody with a car loan, anybody with a home loan, really, really
Personal
struggling.
loan, yeah.
Personal loan. And often what happens is during times like that, we pack our goals as individuals. We say, I can't reach my goals. Too much is going out. I don't have enough coming in.
Pause.
And that is why your idea, how you introed of financial habits becomes absolutely critical. The habit to track your finances, what's going on in this account. And that's what we've done at Net by launching this My Goals transactional account that takes into account. It's tough, but we are here to walk the journey with you.
There are principles, and I think this is it. Often when you're looking at the mountain, it's difficult to imagine yourself at the top. Don't imagine that. Imagine the first step.
Baby steps, absolutely.
What is that first step? And maybe the notion of saving, is it the same as spending less? Saving.
Well, you may get to the same end goal, but it's different. The amazing thing about the human brain and habits is that when we process goals phrased as negative, we feel we don't have the energy to do it.
Yeah.
So when we say spend less, the brain processes it as losing. I'm not spending on the things that I want to do. Less control, a budget, something that is inconveniencing me. When we say save, it's I'm putting aside money because for my dream holiday. I'm putting aside money because I want to have deposit to buy a car or whatever it is. So we make it to the same end goal, but when you phrase it as you are saving towards something and we name it, this is my little account for that dream trip, for my man cave, for my Nintendo.
I love it. Are you just fishing for Father's Day? I think you're just putting just a few little things on the list.
Yes.
I love that. But it is vitally important that you motivate yourself daily, not just with little kind of simple things that you add on, but with those deeper core things that matter to you. I absolutely get that. So many of us are struggling under the weight of debt.
Yes.
I think COVID resulted in a lot of debt in various formats for a lot of people.
Indeed.
Do we focus on that? Tackle the debt? Maybe just press pause on some of those bigger goals for a second. Do we save? Where would your heart be right now? Because I know the numbers are changing constantly.
Absolutely.
What is the right way to approach debt in the current climate?
And what a powerful question, because we know as Nedbank that many South Africans are struggling to keep up with debt payments.
Sure.
And so for us, the starting point is really to say we are a bank that does good for society. We want to empower individuals. We want to empower families and households. How do we do that? By providing you with knowledge. And part of that knowledge is, if you are facing this situation, too much debt, but I also need to save, what is it that I do? Given interest rates the way they've been going up, we would say any consumer experiencing some stress around paying back the debt, it is a good idea for two reasons to aim at reducing the debt. One, interest rates are going up, you pay less interest. Secondly, that kind of peace of mind of having things in control. You know, that habit of putting a little bit extra into that debt so that even if rates continue to go, you are okay from being able to pay. Your bank can be your partner when you are struggling with finances.
You used the key word here, partner. And
Absolutely.
I think that's what led me. Yeah, but completely. And from the day, because I was too young to get a check account from anyone. I started so early in this industry, no one would take me seriously.
Yeah.
I sat with a personal banker at Nedbank who did.
Yeah.
And that stuck with me because that person stuck with me for the first 10 years of my financial journey.
Right? Because of the experience.
Exactly. There is something about having a partner in your corner who's gone through the dips, who knows how to capitalize on the highs. Why is it so important to build that kind of relationship with your bank?
Because we all know when you are facing challenges, we just want someone to be in our corner. We want someone who cares for us.
Yeah.
And for us, it's so critical at Nedbank because often people think, I owe Nedbank money. I must run away. If they're calling me, I'm not going to pick the call. We say, no. We're here through the challenging times. We're here through the moment when things are going well. And so we're saying, an account such as this transactional product, they help you earn as you save because you're getting rewards on groceries, on pharmacy, anything that you swipe on. And as a result, you remember who was there for you when it was tough. It was Nedbank, just as we have said.
Yeah, so when times are good, we all benefit.
Absolutely.
And I think people often forget that you are in the business of keeping your market developing.
Absolutely.
Otherwise, what's the point of doing this? You
and not repossessing cars and not repossessing homes.
Exactly.
That's not what we're in for. We're really in to drive financial wellness for individuals, and we do that by this partnership.
I absolutely love it. And my goals kind of bouquet of account options really do simplify this process. And I'd love to see that algorithm of how much of those numbers that feel out of our control, like inflation, are getting balanced out by the petrol money back, by the 50% off movie tickets.
Absolutely.
That in itself is a win.
Exactly.
Doc, your energy is amazing and
thank
infectious and so authentic in this space. So thank you so much for being that true north within your organization.
Absolutely happy. And the one thing that I would like to mention to our viewers there, during difficult times like this, a Nedbank Money app, our transactional account, what is it that they do? They remind you to be in the driving seat of your money through having a budget, through having a plan that says, here's how I can reduce debt, here's how I can put a little bit more so that I can achieve that goal. So we're really there to do good for consumers and the nation.
And I felt that when I moved out of my debt busters money pocket to tackle one of the big things that's been hanging over us, the feeling of satisfaction and future hope, relief, was amazing. Thank you so much for being in our corners.
Absolutely.
We love you, Doc.
Great to be here.
It speaks to the organization. People do not decide their futures, they decide their habits, and their habits decide their futures. I'm going to say that to myself every time I wake up. So think about your habits, those small things that you can make, little changes now that will make a big difference in the long run. And to give you a massive financial boost, Nedbank are giving one lucky viewer the chance to win 10,000 Rand. To enter, tell us what your favorite feature of the new Nedbank My Goals account is. We've given you a host. You can enter on the Expresso Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram pages using hashtag Take Your Money Seriously. And the competition closes today at 11 a.m. We're going to get a lot of entries, so get on it. But you can find all the T's and C's at expressoshow.com. Doc, thank you.
Thank you. It was awesome. Thank you for having me on the show.
Love you.
Check this. This My Goals Plus account gives you cash back on groceries and 25 cents back per litre at BP. That's lit.
Lit in 2023.
Oh, yes. Mzansi, welcome back to it. Now, let me tell you, I've been online checking out some of the comments, and everybody's saying the show is amazing, but believe it or not, it's going to get even better, because joining us right now, we've got Majosi back in the studio. Yes! Now, obviously, if you don't know him, the South African musician from the coastal city of Durban has a skill set that goes beyond singing, and it includes multiple instruments. Now, his music is, to me, refreshingly sincere, and so is his attitude towards others in the industry. And he's here to chat about all things music, including his third new single for the year titled I'll Be There. And it's something that he's going to be performing a bit later on the show. So let's officially give him a feel-good welcome, ladies and gentlemen, Majosi! Yes, man. Welcome back, bro. How are you doing?
Bro, it's always good seeing you. Look at how good looking this guy is.
I'm gonna stop it, you.
Look at this guy. Look at this guy.
Listen, I see you've got some friends as well. Michaela, how are we doing over there? Yes. Good morning. I'm glad you got your friends. You're always doing some incredible things. But let's just talk about this journey so far. You're not a stranger to our home here at Expresso.
Definitely not.
Dude, have you realized this? It's been 10 years since you made your way into this industry. 2013 was when you had that EP that you released. Bro, what a journey it's been. I've been seeing your journey of music and your sound just evolve in such a beautiful way. But how would you describe that evolution, man?
That's a very good question, man. It's a really, I think for me, I've just been privileged, man. Like, when I started out in the industry, I knew nothing. I had no plans to actually be in this industry. I always wanted to be. I didn't think it was going to be possible, so my life plans were going in another direction. Yeah. And when I ended up here, it was just great, and everything was new and amazing, and I just feel so blessed to still be here, just fumbling across and just doing amazing things with amazing friends.
Bro, you're far from fumbling. You are thriving, and you're in your flow state, and we are all here for it. And I think everybody else is as well, and that's what I hear from every artist that speaks of you. It's nothing but compliments. It's nothing but gratitude. It's nothing but sincere, real, raw emotion that comes from it. What's that process like when you actually go beyond just a friendship and actually collaborate with an artist? I mean, you're a creative, an artist has another creative process. How do you merge that and create these beautiful sounds that you keep doing with everybody?
I think I love to learn from other people, man. Like, my skill set is, like, very limited. I'm, like, very average, to be honest.
Stop lying, man. Stop lying.
No, man, I think, and I love working with people who are, most of all, nice people, but also great at what they do. Like, Michaela Faye is one example. me and my friend Asin, we used to just fangirl over her, like every time she posted something on like Instagram or something like that. And she has such a beautiful voice. And I've got my other mate Dolph is with me. Like he's one of the best producers in the country, possibly the world, when people will see. And I just like, I like learning from other people, man, and just making something. And even if the world doesn't see it, like that process of creating something is super magical and super important, you know? Like, I think we get caught up in like the result of it all, but like birthing something out of nothing is a really special thing.
Oh man, it really is special, and that's what you're all about. And right now we're going to do something even more special, because what's going to be released right now has never been done before. No one's seen this performance, no one's heard it, it hasn't been released, and this is Majosi and Michaela Faye starting us off, getting us into the vibe with a number called Afterglow. Take it away, brother, it's all yours.
Thank you, man.
You turn my world around, running up the hill in the upside down, searching for higher ground. Never thought I'd come to love I found in you. You're the only one I choose. Hey, I don't wanna be with someone else, babe. When I'm with you, I can be myself. On and on and on, I could sing along. On and on and on, you're my favorite song. And I'm falling deeper than I thought I'd be. You're calling out to a whole new part of me. I'd like to know if somewhere in the afterglow we'll find our dreams.
I don't really want to breathe without you. When you're with me, I know it's gonna be okay. You know exactly what to say. 'Cause I've spent most of my life watching the town grow, wishing I was someone else. You open the window, I let it all go, and maybe I could be myself. On and on and on, I can sing along. On and on and on, you're my favorite song.
I'm falling deeper than I thought I'd be. You're calling out to a whole new part of me. I'd like to know if somewhere in the afterglow we'll find our dreams, find our dreams, find our dreams in the afterglow. You're with me, we don't have to know. On and on and on, I could sing along. On and on and on, you're my favorite song. We'll find our dreams, 'cause you're here with me in the afterglow. We don't have to know. I'm falling deeper than I thought I'd be. You're calling out to a whole new part of me. I'd like to know if somewhere in the afterglow we'll find our dreams.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back, you beauties. Now, if you don't know the difference between a cappuccino, a latte, and a glass of milk, then this coffee masterclass is for you. Now, I'm here for this. Best of all, with the Jacobs Barista Editions whole bean range, you can now become your own barista, literally at home, and make yourself any cup of coffee you want. But first, we've got to figure out what they all are. And Paul Jacobs, a serious coffee lover, and I think a man with one of the most extensive coffee knowledge bases I've ever met, which is saying a lot in this space, is here to show us what to do and make me coffee. I love you so much.
The moment has arrived.
It has arrived, buddy.
So what we are drinking here is the Jacobs Barista Editions Espresso Blend.
Okay.
So remember, we looked at the comparison of the lighter bean and the darker bean.
For sure.
This is the dark.
Okay.
So you're going to pick up those dark chocolate notes. It's quite a complex coffee. Very little acidity, because the darker you roast, the more acidity you lose.
You take out.
So this is, in my opinion, a traditional, authentic Italian-style espresso.
Wow.
So you can imagine with a milk-based drink, like a cappuccino, like what we've got in front of us here, you want that coffee to still be the hero.
Oh, it's got to sing, yeah.
And a blend like this is going to punch through, you know, through your milk.
This can turn. It's going to turn me into a coffee snob. You know that, because now I'm going to be talking about things like a connoisseur.
Yeah, well,
it really does. Yeah, but that's exactly it. There are elements here. There is enough of a punch. It kind of stays on your palate for a while, so you get almost a little journey through that flavor profile. It's not just a big bam kind of flavor punch. It's beautiful, nuanced. Even the texture, that, would you call it the crema in this case?
Yeah, so that's your creme on top of an espresso. So, you know, when it comes to sort of identifying a good coffee versus a bad coffee, first thing you want to look at in espresso drinks is that crema. You want to see crema. If you go to a restaurant and order an espresso and they serve you a little black cup of coffee, send it back. Don't drink it.
It's tired, man.
You want that crema.
100%.
And when milk-based drinks, you want that micro-textured foam.
Okay, speaking of which, let's walk through kind of the holy trinity of the milk-based drinks. I know we've gone a lot further than this now, but talk me through the differences between a cappuccino, a flat white, which is probably my favorite, and a latte.
Sure. All right, so cappuccino, first and foremost, has been around for many years. Originated in Italy. It traditionally consists of 1/3 coffee, being espresso, 1/3 steamed milk, and 1/3 of foam, milk foam, all right? This coffee, unfortunately, has been standing for a couple of minutes, so it's settled, but generally you want around 2 centimeters of foam on top of a cappuccino. Almost when you take that sip, you want the espresso to slip in under the milk and hit you.
Okay, I like that, yeah.
Then flat white came about not too long ago, originated in either Australia or New Zealand. I'm not going to say on national television where it originated, because I know those two countries are still head-to-head as to who owns it.
But we make the best ones in South Africa.
We're very popular. we make a good flat white. I think it was developed as a pushback to the traditional cappuccino of the 90s. Remember?
Just too much milk.
Yeah, that big mountain of sea foam on top, overly aerated, very dry sort of in-cup experience. Flat white, like the name suggests, you've got a short double ristretto, so it's a stronger coffee. You can see color-wise it's darker.
It does stand up.
And you've got that beautiful micro-textured milk, which is milk that's been aerated, but there's no visible bubbles in it. And that's the type of milk you'd use for latte art and things like that.
Sure.
So, yeah, short double espresso, topped up with micro-textured milk. It's going to give you more of a kick versus your traditional cappuccino.
And then the milkshake.
Yeah, then the milkshake. So latte in Italian means milk. So if you go to Italy and you order a latte, 10 to 1, they're going to serve you a cup of milk.
Yeah, they laugh in your face.
Yeah. So this is a cafe latte, which coffee, milk, and all it is a single espresso topped up with micro-textured milk. Very much the same type of milk we would use for a flat white. But you've got more milk. So all you're doing is you're diluting that coffee. So it's typically a weaker sort of in-cup experience, if I could call it that.
Yeah, and this is what my mom loves, and I go through the embarrassment of saying extra large cup, extra milk, just one tiny little drop of coffee, please.
But what did I say in our first segment? Coffee's all about preference.
Exactly.
So if your mom likes her coffee that way, that's
what Mama gets, man.
That's it for her, you know?
Yeah, completely. This is amazing. I think I'm beginning to understand why I like what I like now. It's not just the strength of the coffee. It's not just the caffeine, people, okay? I'm not always just buzzing. But there are nuances to how we deliver that flavor and that texture and that experience. That is where the light and shade exists. Well, I've been procrastinating long enough. The next time we get back to our little barista station, I'm going to try my hand, and we're going to put to the test and learn how to make our very own cappuccinos from scratch. I hope you're going to try along at home. Beautiful. I think I need another, though.
Yeah, I'm the right guy for that.
With Jacob's Barista Editions, every bean, every roast, every cup is in a class of its own. Jacob's Barista quality in whole beans and new aluminium capsules in 3 exciting flavors. Try now.
Oh yes, let's carry on with the magic right now. And of course, it being a Father's Day inspired, Father's Day is closing in, and one of the best ways to spend quality time with Dad is over a truly South African braai. Yes, that's of course what we're doing and making delicious food. Now, these are the authentic moments where heart-to-heart conversations begin and advice gets shared. So, of course, here to take us through some of Father's Day spoils, we've got Chef Clem in the building. Chef Clem, this is something that I think everybody can relate to, especially if you're South African. What about you, man? We've all had beautiful moments amongst the braai, especially with our pops. You had some of yours as well?
Oh, absolutely. So I remember, without being taught, without being saying this is an official braai lesson, I remember getting the lessons from my dad. You know, when you're taking everything by what you see.
Yes, yes, yes.
And then when I was 10 years old, my dad had a very serious back up, and the whole family went to go visit him the one Sunday. And we knew we were going to braai. We had to braai. All the family. My dad goes, "You're going to braai today."
Whoa!
And I mean, it was amazing. It was epic. I delivered. The whole family was there. I was like doing the 10-year-old me, the sausage here, the chops here, like everything was happening.
What a moment.
That was the absolute moment for me. And we still talk about it today, like how he, like the lessons he taught me without saying, I'm teaching you now. And that's the thing about kids and just like the father figures in their lives, you learn so much by the actions and what they do. This was one of it, and I mean, what a surprise last week my dad came in the studio.
Yeah,
very
cool.
emotional.
I saw that.
Very emotional.
That was awesome,
and then
man.
the next day, we braaied again, and we spoke about it. It was lovely. So braai, strong connection.
So bring it on, man. Look, the only thing I learned from my dad when it comes to braaiing is that when you braai at lunchtime, you eat at nighttime.
Hey.
But that's the norm, I think.
That's the norm. That's the norm.
What do you got when it comes to gifting? Because I see options here, and I'm looking for something to put in my bag for this weekend.
There we go.
Looks good.
So braaiing's not just a way to get food on the table for South Africans. It's part of our culture, and we invest in that. So we get the equipment that we need to help us be best at that job. So let's start off with this braai grid, which seems so simple, but through innovation, we've come up with some really amazing things. This is the Jan Braai grid.
All right. What's so special about this?
The 2 parts are separate. It's attached at the moment now, the little cable ties, but the 2 parts are separate. Then there's little notches over here, which means you can adjust it to like the thickness of your steak or chicken, whatever you're working with, without squashing it, especially fish. That you don't want to squash fish. This is a really good one, the fact that you can adjust them. Then, if you want to just do like a quick little braai, you can actually just braai on either 2 of them, like separate them, and feed the family.
Smart, yes.
Feed the family.
Have 2 grids going at the same time. And I love the fact that it has this design which stops you from potentially squashing your meat at certain corners. I know with the normal grill that you kind of just plastic
You just
together,
clamp it down.
you clamp it down, and then you don't get that even spread of the press of the grill. So this is great stuff. I like this. All right, so that's going in the basket.
Yes.
Dad's getting that for sure.
Jan Braai, flat bottom poikie pot. I'm actually really into the flat bottoms. Yes, I've got my...
What's the deal with that? I've seen that at the moment. What's up with that, man?
The reason I've got mine is because you can use it directly on your gas stove, whereas the 3-legged one, it's got too much of that height difference.
Yes.
So this one's practical. It works on induction, it works on gas, it works in the oven, and obviously it works on the braai. And just being flat-bottomed, it makes it a little more versatile.
But hey, that's a great tip for, especially the fact that we are in South Africa and we do still have load shedding, so you want to finish up your heat, then you can pop it on the gas. I like that.
And being cast iron will keep it hotter for longer. And you'll actually find because of the weight of the lid, it almost creates a little more pressure, so things cook a little quicker.
Nice.
Like that one.
Proper.
Then we got talking about the braai grid, we got the braai grid cleaning brush. And this is the multi-head one. So you have let me just show you. We've got 2 sides of the bristles, plus we've got that scraper on the top.
Get all that like grease and stuff off.
Exactly. Don't be one of those people be like, no, I leave my braai grid dirty. It's flavor.
It's flavor. Like the air fryer.
Clean your air fryer, clean your braai grid. This is how you do it. Then, not even a braai essential, a life essential, a USB fire lighter. Okay? Whoa. You never need matches again. You never need to worry about gas and your lighter. It's USB powered. Nice. So as long as it's charged and it holds its charge for a very long time, you get that Very satisfying blue flicker of the light that lights everything. Love that one.
And it's essential for the wind that we get here when you want to try light and dry. That's embarrassing if you can't get your own fire started.
Exactly.
So that thing articulates by the looks of it, so you get into it.
Bendy arm and wind does nothing. It will light your fire. Then, we spoke about the bright ones a little earlier. These are good ones. And I love the fact that they're wooden because the wood ages beautifully and it just adds to the whole experience of the gift that Dad got this year. And in 5 years' time, it just looks just as beautiful. To go with that, we got the steak board. What's the difference between a chopping board and a steak board? Now, you see these little grooves in here?
Yeah.
Now, your chopping board at home also might have them, but look how big these are. So what happens is...
Drainage or something. What is
for
it?
drainage. If we do steaks, right? We do like quite a few steaks. We serve it on the board with a big carving knife. You can serve it. As people slice, steaks lose a bit of that juice. It runs a little bit. That catches all of it, so it doesn't end up on your beautiful linen tablecloth. The board's got you covered.
Nice. It's like the castle. What's that thing you get before you get into the castle?
The moat.
The moat.
There we go.
So cool.
A moat of meat juice. Drink. Okay.
That
so,
is awesome.
No, we're not going to duel. We're not dueling.
Are we going to have are we going to do that cop?
You might think you don't need a braai glove. Let me tell you, there's so many injuries caused unnecessarily when it comes to braaiing. A braai glove is amazing. You can handle... I'm talking about glowing white
So
logs.
I was going to ask you that because I actually got this pair from Woolies, right? I was using this in my fireplace, and I don't know if you're allowed to or supposed to, but I literally put my hand straight in the fire, move the log, get it some air. I'm like up in there like a surgeon, and I felt nothing.
You feel nothing.
Are you supposed to?
You can. I mean, you also get braai tongs to help you. Like we have the braai tongs that have specifically for wood and then for meat. You can use the braai tongs, but these are what happen when you really need to get in there really quickly. You can handle extremely hot temperature. Talking about the whole potjie pot, the lid, the bottom, the braai coals, the braai logs. This is what it is. And you feel some sort of power when you... Don't snap your fingers. Don't snap your fingers. This is what you need for your braai essentials.
I love it. What about a glove 5?
Hey!
Beautifully done, my man. And of course, that is what it is about. Gather around the braai this Father's Day and celebrate moments that matter. And you can get 20% off 2 braai essentials at Woolworths until the 18th of June. So shop this deal in-store, online, and of course on the Woolies app. And your T's and C's do apply. What are you waiting for? Get your braai on. Bye-bye.
Hey, what's that?
This is Octifex, a new accessible platform to trade Forex on global markets.
Cool. What's the Forex?
It's short for foreign exchange, trading currencies.
Buy low, sell high. Score points, right?
Exactly.
What's leverage?
It's like you got cool friends. They vouch for you, and you can trade it big.
Precisely.
So basically, it's an app where you learn and trade, and it's safe, and it looks good.
That about sums it up here. Octifex, trading made clear.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back. It is your feel-good breakfast show, Expresso, right here on S3. Well, listen, we're about to approach that final hour of the show, but you still have lots to look forward to. We've got Majosi featuring Dolph in studio. They're ready to perform for you, but let's quickly catch up with those headlines, take a look at your sport, as well as traffic and weather.
Thank you so much, Zoe. Yes, it's about to hit the hour, and of course, it's time for official duties. Now, starting off with national news headlines, some 500 crates of sardines have been netted at Warner Beach on the KwaZulu-Natal south coast. Now, the silvery delicacies are fetching a price of between 400 to 600 rand a crate. Now, dubbed the greatest shoal on earth, the annual sardine run always attracts enormous crowds. Now, the Sardine Run in SA is recognized as one of the world's most popular marine events, and in terms of biomass, researchers estimate that it rivals East Africa's Great Wildebeest migration. Now, these shoals are often more than 7 kilometers long, 1.5 kilometers wide, and 30 meters deep. Incredible stuff indeed. But carrying on with our national headlines, the head of diplomacy at the Department of International Relations and Cooperation, Clayson Monyela, says the SA government has noted the letter from US Congress members to US Secretary of State Antony Blinken, but says there is no decision by Washington yet to move the AGOA Forum from SA. Now, the African Growth and Opportunity Act, otherwise known as the AGOA, offers certain countries preferential access to the massive US market. Now, the letter cites SA's stance on Russia's invasion of Ukraine as reason why the AGOA Forum should be moved from SA. Well, from our national news headlines, it's time to head over to international news. Now, the authorities in Ethiopia have repatriated 80 people from Uganda, now suspected of belonging to a doomsday cult. Now, members of the Christ Disciples Church were allegedly told to sell their property, make a pilgrimage to Ethiopia, and starve themselves to death in order to meet Jesus. Now, police said they were hunting for the leader of the cult, Pastor Simon Opolot, and in Kenya, some 250 bodies of suspected cult members were discovered in a remote forest. Now, Pastor Paul Mackenzie allegedly convinced his followers to end their own lives by starving. Well, carrying on with international headlines right now, Donald Trump, who turned 77 today, has pleaded not guilty in a federal court in Miami, Florida, to historic charges of mishandling sensitive files. Now, Trump isn't the first U.S. president, current or former, to be hit with a federal criminal indictment. Now, this was the second time Trump had appeared in court this year, and a lawyer for Trump entered a plea of not guilty on 37 accounts of illegally retaining classified documents and obstructing the government's efforts to retrieve them. Well, next up in the headlines, the efforts by a Nigerian chef to break the world record for cooking non-stop has officially been recognized by Guinness World Records. Now, Hilda Baci or Basi became a national sensation after cooking for 100 hours with only a 5-minute break each hour. Now, Chef Baci, 27, used more than 100 different dishes, mainly from Nigerian origin. Now, afterwards, she spoke about what had motivated her, coming through with a quote saying, "I just knew that I needed to do something out of the ordinary to put myself, Nigeria, and young African women on the map." Well, congratulations indeed, and we carry on with more celebrations and congratulations in sport, and here's G with the latest.
Thank you so much, Well. I think many fans of rugby really excited about this one. Let's kick it off with news relating to the Sharks. So yesterday, they confirmed the signing of former Springbok winger Aphiwe Jantyi. The 28-year-old played 13 tests for the Springboks between 2018 and 2019 before his career was halted by a 4-year doping ban. Well, he will soon become eligible to play again, and the Sharks have wasted no time in acquiring the uber-talented speedster services. Before his doping ban, Jantyi had been on the books of the Lions, where he was playing a major part in the Johannesburg franchise's resurgence in Super Rugby. So good to see him back out there. And we turn to football, and Kylian Mbappe has come out as saying he has not asked to leave Paris Saint-Germain this summer, and that the letter that he sent to the club was leaked with the aim of damaging his image. So the forward has also taken to Twitter to brand reports that he wants to join Real Madrid this summer as, quote, lies, adding that he is, quote, very happy with the French champions. Mbappe says PSG were first told on the 15th of July last year of his decision to reject the extension. An official correspondence has then followed to that effect this week, with Mbappe saying the, quote, again, only aim of the letter was to confirm what had already been spoken about. Now, lots to get excited about on the netball front locally. Certainly, Proteas coach Norma Plummer is confident that her Chargers will be well and ready when the world descends on the country for the Vitality Netball World Cup. So Cape Town is the host city where 16 countries will be vying for the coveted title of the best netballing nation in the tournament and the world. And that'll take place over 10 days. The Proteas have had several camps leading up to the global showpiece, starting last December, ahead of a successful quad series, with a few more that happened over the next few months. The last has seen a 2-week training camp playing out at a very happy hunting ground, the Stellenbosch Academy of Sport, in May. Now let's turn to top-tier athletics, as Olympic 100-meter champion Marcel Jacobs yesterday withdrew from the European Athletics Team Championships in Poland later this month due to a persistent sciatica. So Jacobs must, quote, take additional time for treatment and specific training until the problem is fully resolved. That's according to the Italian Athletics Federation yesterday in a statement released. The 28-year-old is hoping to be in prime shape for the 19th to the 27th of August World Championships in Budapest after a very difficult start to his season. The Italian has, in fact, twice pulled out of showdowns with world champion Fred Curley due to this persistent back problem. So hopefully he can find a resolution. But that's where we leave our sport for this morning. I think the roads should be well and proper woken up by now. Let's get you to work safely. And Raul's got the latest on the traffic and weather front.
Thank you so much, G-Man. Yes, let's take a look at traffic once again, and for our last time this morning. And for those heading to the Mschlange area in Durban, to be specific, there's been an accident on the corner of Alice and Albert Street. Now, this is causing delays, so please do plan accordingly. Now, moving from Durban, we head over to Cape Town and Constantia, to be specific. There's been a mudslide as well as a large tree that has fallen at Eagle's Nest on Constantia Main Road. Now, the road has been closed completely, so please do use an alternative route. Sticking to Cape Town right now, and it looks like a video has come through for this one. Ottery, to be specific, there's flooding on the Ottery Road near the M5 highway. So again, as you can see, please use an alternative route and stay safe. The water level does seem high. It seems like the traffic has slowed down, so please do be cautious in this area. And thank you for sharing this video with us, wherever the source does come from. We carry on with the traffic right now and heading to Balvin in Cape Town. There is congestion on the N1 inbound at Jip de Jager. So again, do expect delays in the area, and Cape Town seems to have many issues. Carrying on in Cape Town right now, and in Bellville to be specific, there's been an accident on the R300 northbound, and this after the ramp of the Stellenbosch arterial. Now, the left lane has been closed, so again, do expect delays. We're sticking to Cape Town right now, and we're carrying on with all the treacherous conditions coming through from the weather. And in Khayelitsha, you can see that traffic has come to a standstill on Muway, and the cause is currently unknown. So if you are in the area, please use an alternative route until further notice. Carrying on with the traffic headlines, and again in Cape Town, Stellenbosch takes center stage, and Philippi to be specific in Stellenbosch. This was a video shared from Eerste Rivier overflowing, and as you can see, again, traveling is very, very difficult in these conditions. So for anybody heading out there, if you're on the roads, please do stay safe. Plan your routes accordingly. Don't drive too fast on the roads today, especially with those wet conditions. And for now, though, our warning is over. So again, please buckle up and stay safe. But we're going to head from the roadside now to the sky and see what's happening with the weather. Right now, reporting on weather news, the SA Weather Service has issued an orange level 6 warning for disruptive rain leading to major disruption of traffic flow that can be expected over the city of Cape Town and most parts of the Cape Winelands in the Western Cape today, and as you have just seen in our traffic report. Now, an orange level 6 weather warning is issued before expected weather conditions that could significantly impact people, property and activity. Now, disruptive rain leading to localized flooding can also be expected over parts of the West Coast and the Cape Winelands and Overberg districts of the Western Cape. Now, over the mountainous areas, some 100 millimeters of rain is expected today. And on top of this, strong gusty winds are also anticipated over much of the interior of the Western and Eastern Cape today and tomorrow. So again, I definitely suggest that everybody out in Cape Town especially stays safe and plans any route or destination today accordingly. For now, though, it's time to head from our weather news to those temperatures. And starting off in Polokwane, the day starts at a low of 7 up to a high of 24 degrees. Mbombela sees a low of 13 up to 29. Pretoria, 8 is your low up to a high of 21 degrees. And Johannesburg, 6 is your low up to a high of 19 with lots of sun expected. Over in Mahikeng, the sunny conditions continue, but it's very chilly, starting at 1 degree up to a high of 21 degrees in Mahikeng. Klerksdorp, very similar, from 4 you move up to only 21 degrees. Kimberley, also chilly, a start of 4 degrees up to a high of 20. And Bloemfontein, starting on a chilly 0 up to a maximum of 17 degrees Celsius. Carrying on around the coast now, over to Richards Bay. Sunny skies can be expected, 16 up to a high of 28. Pietermaritzburg sees a low of 7 up to 25. Durban, 16 is a low up to 25 with sunny skies expected. And Umtata, 11 is your low up to a high of 23 degrees Celsius. Carrying on around the coast now, over to East London. A little bit of rain coming through here, 11 up to a high of 22. Cradock sees very windy conditions from 9. You move up to 17. GQ Gqeberha sees the day starting at 11 up to 18 with lots of rain coming through. And much the same for George. The wet conditions continue from 9. You move up to a high of 17 degrees Celsius. Carrying on around the coast now, to the mother city, where we've seen all these warnings coming through. Lots of rain. Your temperatures start at 11, moving up to only 16 degrees. Worcester, much the same with the wet conditions, 10 up to a high of 14. Sutherland, the chilly day today and lots of rain, 4 up to only a high of 8 degrees Celsius. And last but not least, Uppington, starting off with the chilly 6 degrees up to moderate 21, and sunny skies can be expected. Thank you again so much for everybody sending those incredible shots in. We'll do it all again in the morning, and we love to see how you send out your sunrise views. And speaking of, here's our final opportunity to check out those sunrise views sent in by you, Mzansi. And right now we're starting off with Colin from Durban, who shared a perfect picture shot showing off sparks of light beaming through the clouds, and wow, like a pastel painting indeed. I absolutely love this one. Next up, we've got Delish, and this is from East London, who snapped this view of all those colors, bringing smiles to her face, and definitely to everybody else here in the studio. And then Paige Marie from GQ Gqeberha headed out to drop her kids off at school, and wow, sharing a flawless view with her favorite breakfast view. Thank you for this. And rounding us up, Prakash shared another amazing shot all the way out in Turbs. This is incredible. Photography skills on an absolute another level. Is this the cover of a magazine? It definitely could be. Prakash, you've outdone yourself along with the rest of you, Mzansi. Thank you for sending these incredible shots in. As I mentioned, we'll do it all again in the morning, so thank you for putting a smile on my dial.
Oh, thank you, Ryle. A smile on his dial, and his name is Ryle. It all rhymes. Oh, Graham, I have to ask you, how many cups of coffee have you had today?
Yeah, a lot, okay, but I have the perfect excuse, because today is coffee day. I absolutely love it. And we're learning how to make proper coffee this morning, which is a real blessing for me, I think, so I'm loving life.
Well, while we're learning how to also make the coffee, it's also the perfect excuse to have it and enjoy it with something delicious. And nothing really gets the whole family around the same table quicker than opening a box of Oma rusks. Now, earlier this week, we showed you the video of me going to surprise my family, and we wanted to know from you what your family's favorite way is of spending quality time together, and we have really received some special comments. So let's take a look at social media.
Of course, we had some amazing comments coming through. We've got Cindy saying, enjoying tea and dipping Oma rusks, still an environment of calm and peace, spending quality time together. You can tell how calm she is. That's our family's favorite way. That gives us a safe space and time to open up and share what's going on in their lives. Connection. I love that.
I love that.
Absolutely beautiful.
Let's take a look. Corsi says, my family and I love sitting outside and sunbathing. This is when we catch up on what's going on in each other's lives and crack the funniest inside jokes. It's always good time with them. I'm assuming Khosi stays in KZN where it's
always perennially warm and beautiful. But I love it, man. Again, it's taking that time to just properly connect. Then Tabang saying, my family loves spending quality time together, and we'll have a cup of coffee and Omar rusks, more than a rusk. I'm sure a couple are involved. We enjoy the moment when we are together watching TV every day.
Special.
Family traditions.
There we go. Well, Moshidi says, what I love about my family is that we love to eat breakfast together and enjoy doing things together. We always spend most of our time together talking, laughing, and that just sounds so wholesome.
Yeah, man, it's your people. I love that. I absolutely, for me, that's become my happiest space, especially waking up at the start of the day when I get my kids when they're unaffected by the world and you just get them in their purest, most joyful, wonderful form. I love that. I get what you guys are saying. Take a moment to connect and of course, savor that moment with a rusk. If you and your family have a favorite way to spend quality time together, then please share it with us. Inspire us on our Expresso Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram page, and use that all-important hashtag #MoreThanARusk, because it really is. One lucky winner will walk away with a delicious Omar Rusks hamper worth 2,000 Rand, plus 2,000 Rand in cash. Wow, it gets better and better. That competition closes today at 11 a.m., so get on it. Please, as fast as you can. You can find all the terms and conditions that apply on expressoshow.com. And I've kept you waiting, little Rusk.
This is yummy.
Yay. And you get the coffee flavor as well. Yay.
There is more in every dip with Omar Rusks.
It's my feel-good breakfast
Welcome back to another installment of the Culinary Hotline Bling! We've had two amazing recipes.
We have,
Graham's steak, eggs and fries, Zoe's chickpea curry, and now we have officially named Raul put a smile on your dial de morning in the kitchen with us.
I like that. Raul put a smile on your dial and it hasn't even been a while.
Wow, crocodile.
I got you.
Okay, talk to me about your request for cabbage bredie.
Yeah, dude, so my dad is like, he's strange. He's different, man.
Okay.
Old school, but when it comes to his food choices, he's actually so simple. So here's an example, right? Like, he would like something like, you know, when you put your top meals, like, what would you like? That man likes plain white bread with butter and like liver smear. That's like his vibe. Or he would want something like a cabbage bredie with no meat, just potatoes, just cabbage.
Okay, let me just get rid of all of this.
Wait. So here's how it worked at home, right? So he would be basic, like he would just have like a moi biscuit with butter on for supper. That's the
but
kind
that's
of
a vibe.
Yeah,
That's
you know,
a vibe.
it is,
That's
right?
right.
So he would have this, and I would be like, no, cabbage. How can you have cabbage for supper as a kid? It's like vegetables for supper. I was like, Mom, please. I would like bribe her in the day. I'm like, please, can't you just organize some meat, even if it's meaty bones, it's cheap. I'll give you a 5 rand. Just add it in to make it liquor. So she would every now and then like kind of like hybrid it, so serve me and my dad. But my dad loved these weird meals like cabbage bredie.
I love cabbage bredie. The only thing that I have against cabbage bredie, and my mom's never done this, is if you're that one kid and you open your lunchbox and your mom packed in last night's cabbage bredie.
Was that you?
Yeah. But I do love cabbage bredie, and I think it's the simplicity of it and how delicious it is. It's so heartwarming. So in here I've got some onions, I've got some garlic. What you want to do is, this is another dish that takes some time. You want to cook your onions on a low heat until they completely just give up and they're just so soft and brown.
Surrender.
So we're going to fast forward now, pretend that's happened. Baileys. And get that in there. I love Baileys.
Nostalgia and bay leaves for me is always chowing into a meal and getting one in your teeth. You're like, okay, I got one. There we go.
So then I've got some allspice berries. People always think allspice is a combination of a whole lot of other spices. It's
like
not.
all the Spice Girls came together and collabed for...
That is pretty epic. The allspice tour coming soon.
Yeah.
So it's very fragrant and a little goes a long way. Yeah. That's going to go in there. That's going to start perfuming the oil and the onions. Once you get that nice brown and soft texture on your onions, you're going to go in with your lamb. This is one where we don't brown the meat before the time.
Okay.
We want the meat to relax. We're not looking for that crust in it. It's all soft. It's all comfy.
Cabbage will like kind of blanket it and really make it this thing, right?
Exactly. And I also love the fact that you can use stewing meat. And stewing meat we know is a less expensive, from less expensive cuts, but it gives you maximum flavor.
That is the thing, man. I think in soups, in stews, and that's something that my dad always absolutely loved. I think in my family and culture especially, just adding like a little bit of something with meat on added that extra flavor and completed the meal.
Exactly.
And I'll be honest with you, man, like in certain cultures, in certain communities, meat was always the most expensive thing. And that was something that you didn't have a lot of in a dish. So just to have a little bit of it, meaty bones were always a great option because it was cheaper. There was good bone marrow, good flavor in that.
Good flavor.
Soups and stews. Yeah. So again, it works so well in this for its flavor profile.
Exactly. And this is a cut that's got a lot of the bone on it, which we spoke about it.
Yeah.
So pepper went in, a little bit of extra salt, and you're going to, at this stage, add a little bit of water.
Okay.
And then you'll pop the lid on. And what you're going to do is you're going to cook it for about half an hour. Because these are quite chunky pieces of lamb, you're going to cook it for half an hour until you start seeing it starting to pull away from the lamb.
Okay.
When that happens, that's when you go in with your potatoes. Now, here's the thing. When I do cabbage bredie, my potatoes are normally double the size of this. I keep the potatoes big. So the potatoes become as important as the lamb. Because that's epic, because it soaks up all that sauce, all that flavor.
It adds content, it adds mass, it adds like that volume to the meal.
Exactly.
That's that thing that fills you up. For me as a kid, the potato really added the meat to the meal for me because cabbage didn't fill you up as much. It had great flavor, it had good nutritional value, but like you said, I love that point indeed. The potato really made it stretch and made it last another day even.
It did. So what you need to do, South Africa, is you need to cook your massive amount of cabbage stew in the smallest pot you can find. Because you need to make your life a little difficult. Get a big pot, okay? Because you want things to start moving around in the pot.
Okay.
So, a little more water, lid goes back on. Just before the potatoes get soft, that's when you go in with the cabbage. And I use a whole head of cabbage. Cabbage wilts down. So I add it in two pots.
Nice, because it literally just disappears.
It disappears. So work with me, South Africa. Imagine.
Pretend this was a big pot.
And the potatoes are soft. And you'll see the lamb gives a lot of the liquid as well that you get from the stew. The cabbage goes in and then the lid goes on, okay? And then you let it steam for like 10 minutes. And when you come back, you can literally add all of the other cabbage, lid on. It does come down in size quite a bit. And then literally, once the potatoes are soft, you're good to go. That's it. Make sure you're seasoning good salt and pepper. What you got to do is serve it with some pickled beetroot and serve it with some chutney, yo. You got to do that. This is so satisfying. Few ingredients. Hits all the spots.
And you've
love this recommendation.
Given me every memory to kind of even try replicate this for my dad. I don't know if I'm going to attempt that, but we can try and we can get the recipe online. So you, Mzansi, if you're inspired by this, then yay! Because we have the same thing and we can celebrate our dads this weekend. Thank you so much, Chef, for coming through for this inspiration. I think that officially rounds it up on another successful round of the Culinary Hotline Bling. Ching, ching, ching! See you on the next one.
Bespoke.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back. Yes, you can see I'm in my happy place. The coffee has been flowing and it's been really good coffee. We've been spoilt on the show over the last couple of weeks with our Instant Jacobs Cappuccino sachets, which are delicious. All you have to do literally is just add water. But today is finally the day where we are going to level up and learn how to make the almighty cappuccino from scratch.
Now, Paul, let's kick this off with the building blocks of a good cappuccino. Just remind us again.
Yeah, so look, cappuccino, like I said, is equal parts coffee to milk to froth. But I want to change it up. And let's make some flat whites.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So I'm going to run through that process for you. You did mention flat white stands out for you as a choice.
It's my go-to,
So
100%.
let's make
Thank
what
you,
we
lad.
actually want to drink.
Yeah, you see, because that's what this lesson in coffee, this masterclass in coffee has actually been about. It's not about conforming to some snobbish ideal of what coffee is. Do what you love. Take in what you like.
I feel like when you go to a coffee shop and you order a cappuccino, and then the waiter will come like, here are the flat whites, and you're like, no, but I ordered it. They're like, it's the same thing. What is the difference between a flat white and a cappuccino?
So look, a flat white typically should contain a short double shot of espresso, whereas a cappuccino is a single shot.
Okay.
Again, like I mentioned to Graham, it's not defined. So I'd like to challenge you to maybe pop around to a couple of your favorite cafes and order the same thing. And you'll be surprised at how many discrepancies you pick up between those sites. Everyone has their own sort of take on it.
You know what I love is I always, and I was joking with Paul earlier, like I'll ask the barista what his go-to is. And wherever I am, I'll always ask the guy who is making it, the guy who lives it, to find out what his favorite kind of take on his coffee is. But I think a lot of South African coffee snobs are going to be out today, but it's a good thing. Okay, so where are we in the process?
Okay, so we have pulled a short double shot of espresso.
Beautiful.
Can we make sure the
18
camera
grams.
sees that?
Yeah. And I'm going to go for a heart.
Okay.
So nice, simple design.
So that you say.
Yeah, exactly.
So we want that
To us, it's
micro-textured
not.
milk. If you look at that milk, when I swirl it, it almost looks like wet white paint. It
Yeah, it looks like
develops
almost
that
like
gloss.
a gel as opposed to a, like you say, frothy foam.
That's exactly it.
And the bouncing on the tables, that's to get rid of the bubbles?
Yeah, so Any visible bubbles, just give it a knock on the counter and they pop away.
Okay.
So, you know, we encourage hearing that sound in a cafe. It just adds that authenticity, that the barista actually knows what he's doing.
And it makes you look proper when you're doing it as well. It makes you look like you really know what you're doing.
So I'm going to start high, and I'm going to come in closer. And then pull through. Okay. Very, very simple. I mean, we could do tulips, we can do rosettas, swans, you name it. But for the purpose of this exercise, let's focus on a heart.
And that's my heart right there. You know that, eh?
Yeah.
You took it, man. You took my heart.
So we're very competitive. Are we going to make this a bit of a
We
competition?
are very competitive.
This is your part now.
So we've got our hot milk here.
That's exactly it. So what you want to do is you want to start by swirling your milk. You want to bring that milk back to life. Give it a nice swirl. So you want to combine that milk and that foam together.
And it needs to look like white paint.
Correct. You want to see that gloss. There we go. Graham's is developing into that texture we want.
Can I go
Zoe's
for
already
it?
jumping straight ahead. So start there.
So you say start high.
There we go.
There's
Tilt
no
a bit
froth
more.
coming. We're going over.
There we go. Look, that's...
I think you put a Z in there. Did you just put your initial in there? Okay, Zoe wins. I mean, come on. I don't know how I'm going to do that.
You're going to do this at any point.
Okay, so we start high.
Start high, now bring it, start high in center. Now bring it right down. Bring that right down. Speed up your pour. And pull through.
Ooh. Okay, I didn't spill.
I did spill, but I'll lick it right up. Let's grab that cloth there. It's
What pattern did you
a winter cloud above Cape Town, dramatically settling on top of Table Mountain. Hey? It's
Not
just
bad.
gorgeous. That's an actual heart, Zoe. You made an actual heart.
Let's ignore the spillage, unless the glass is leaking.
No.
But by definition, what is a flat white? Short double ristretto, which is, short double, topped up with micro-textured milk. And that's exactly what you have just created. And that's exactly what you've created. So from a taste profile perspective, that's going to be bang on.
Thank you for
Visually,
saying that.
you know.
No. So wait, how do I get to the froth? So I obviously went with too much milk. I needed to get the
So
froth
you
to the front.
you start slowly, high up. Get that milk to bring up the volume in your cup, and then you want to tilt the jug more and
To
really
get
get
the
that
froth.
foam to come through. And then give it a wiggle and pull a line through. Guys, latte art is like riding a bicycle. It's learning by doing.
For
So,
sure.
I mean,
It's
I've
a
been in
fitness,
coffee many, many years. Admittedly, it took me a while to grasp it. So this is first step.
It tastes amazing. So I'm absolutely proud of what we have created here.
Why not?
Yeah, exactly.
Have a cup. I feel like I need to be unladylike.
Impossible.
Balance.
Impossible for you, Zoe. Impossible. Buddy, I can't tell you what a privilege it's been taking these first steps in our new coffee journey. It feels like a new coffee season for me, which is saying a lot, Guy. The authentic passion for what you do is amazing, but the knowledge base. How long have we been doing this? 10 years, and I've learned things about coffee today that I haven't ever learned on the show before.
Then my job's done.
Thank you so much, buddy. You're an absolute legend. Wow.
Amazing. Now, the Jacobs Barista Edition whole bean range, it offers the highest quality of slow roasted beans, and it is available in 2 variants. There's the crema and the espresso. So get yourself a bag or 2, and treat yourself to a delicious cup of coffee, just the way you like it.
And if you can make it better than us, please post pictures and a video. Oh, you're a legend, buddy.
Cheers.
New Jacobs Barista Editions, our premium range of slow roasted coffees that even baristas use at home. Coffee shop quality at home.
Oh yes, we are treating ourselves to deliciously great coffee, and now we're going to treat ourselves to some great music. But Josie's still standing by, and he's here with some more friends. We've got Dolph in the building. He's got the guitar out, so this is going to be special. But Josie, bro, it's again obviously always good to have you here. I love the chat we had earlier. I want to dive a little bit deeper into things, and maybe for you, you're someone that I think can relate to so many people. So many people relate to you, and you're someone that I think is so real and authentic. That's why I'm asking you this question. Now, for Mzansi, I know a lot of us go through these times when we're lacking that inspiration, we're lacking that sort of gusto. How do you find an ability to ground yourself and find that power again, to reinvigorate yourself? What do you do? How do you tap into that?
For me personally, man, I think I have a lot of faith. You know, I have a lot of faith in God and Jesus.
Yeah.
And I found my being and who I am in that, you know, and I always try and remember what I believe, who I believe in, and everything else kind of falls into place, you know. Like, we all go through a lot of things in life, and sometimes things happen and it feels like life isn't going your way. But when you truly know who you are in God, and you find a peace and happiness in that, and you find security in that. And I think it's super important. Like, even if it's not that, for some other people, it might be the values in their life that they hold highly, like family and your relationship with your wife or your husband or something like that, you know. I think it's finding what's really important in your life and making sure that that thing is still important. And then everything else falls into place.
Everything else falls into place. And to add to that, the fact that you get a gift that you can share with the world and make them happy, that's every reason to get inspired once again. So we're going to do just that. We've got another performance coming up. What are we performing right now? I'll Be There? Is that correct?
That's it. That's
All right. Well, I'll be there. I'll be here standing by, celebrating. And the stage is yours. Take it away.
Thanks, brother.
When you're stuck in the in-between, keep falling down and you're on your knees, know that I'll be there for you. When you're scared of another day, you're stuck in bed, don't you feel ashamed? 'Cause I'll be there for you. It's been a little crazy lately, but you know you can always find me. Be there for you when your heart is filled with endless sorrow and you need a little strength to borrow. I'll be there for you when you find what you cannot see in your reflection. Just look at me and know that I will care for you when you live with no hope inside. I'll search the world for the spark that died, and I will care for you. It's been a little crazy lately, but you know you can always find me, and I'll be there for you when your heart is filled with endless sorrow and you need a little strength to borrow. I'll be there for no death or life or sacrifice will separate my love. No things to come or the things you've done will break apart my love. Through the days and nights till the end of time, you'll always have my love with all my heart and soul. It's been a little crazy lately, but you know you can always find me, and I'll be there for you when your heart is full with endless sorrow and you need a little strength to borrow. I'll be there for, and I'll be there for, and I'll be there for you.
You can't not feel the magic, man. Dolph, thank you so much for being here. Majoze, as always, serving us. And it doesn't stop there, Mzansi. We've got one more performance coming at you, one more reason to celebrate and to feel good. We'll see you there.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back as we continue to celebrate our father figures. And when they're not there, we create them. Father Figure is an incredible initiative by Lifa Lakaya Foundation that aims to encourage and advocate for the presence of fathers in their children's lives through awareness campaigns, public activations, events, and action. Now, the program also serves as a present father to those children who have absent fathers on their fathers or not actively involved in their daily activities, and there are so many South African children living through this narrative right now. And here to tell us more about this incredible initiative is founder Nati Matlanyana and Tandiswa Mweli from the Guguletu Healthcare Centre. Guys, thank you so much for joining us this morning. I know we could probably sit for hours talking about the reality of the situation and what drives your amazing organization, but I can't move past your amazing cap, dude. Where can you get a cap like that? Now, I love the fact that your moment has arrived by virtue of the fact that you are here.
Yes,
why do you exist? What sparked this initiative?
What sparked it is our daily lives, man. Living in a society now where fathers are not there. If we look at stats-wise, you'll find that South Africa is growing close to 70% of fathers not being there. You mentioned it earlier as well.
Yeah, it's a lived experience for
most of us.
Exactly.
So we're glad to have children that haven't grown up with fathers, but actually turn out to be great. But our initiative is the fact that we want to expose children. Like exposure is from my personal experience, is what made me become the kind of man that I am. Luckily, my father was there, but I only started living under the same roof with him at the age of 14.
Oh, wow.
And there's a difference, and you'll find there is a difference from someone that, for example, like I'm there for my kids, like maybe from an early age and stuff like that. You'll find there is a difference.
Massive.
So in our communities is that our fathers are not there. So this initiative is about actually being there. And we say that children actually are raised by a community.
Yeah.
And there are men out there in our townships. And what we want them to be is that just to avail themselves. You don't have to be the biological father of the child. It's actually men's presence. That's what we're advocating for, men's presence in children's lives.
I didn't know my father, and that was part of my life script. And I recently had an opportunity to really address that because I am a father now, and I need to let go of that baggage. And it's been such a complex, crazy journey, but it's brought me so much joy to connect with, in particular, my son, as a father, knowing the difference. Why is it so important, Tandiswa, to have those father figures? And to say I didn't have a father didn't mean I didn't have father figures in my life. Why are those so vital, and how do you make those connections?
So, as you've mentioned, I'm the operational manager of the maternity unit at Guguletu CHC, and part of our drive called the First 1,000 Days. I'm sure you've heard about it. Part of the importance of the First 1,000 Days is to make sure that a father figure is there. It's part of the journey.
Just get that continuity.
Because we believe that conception starts way before conception actually starts. So, and it actually, it's two people that make sure that there are a living human being on earth. So part of the drive of the First 1,000 Days, us allowing fathers to be there and part of the lives of their children, of the unborn children, up until the age of 2 years and beyond, is where Nati's initiative comes in. As he has mentioned, we have a lot of mothers in our birthing centers that come alone. They are through the journey of pregnancy alone. They have either no one or either the father was there in the beginning and decided not to appear anymore. But with this kind of initiative, it empowers women to say that actually you are not alone. And there is a saying that we said on the day that we have launched our ship, was that in isiXhosa they say akukho mntana ongazoba natata.
What does that mean?
It means that there is no child that will not have a father. With Nati's initiative and his team, it has empowered women to actually keep them strong. Because part of a pregnant woman's journey, we would love for them to have a stress-free pregnancy.
Oh, for sure, because it
Knowing
does
that,
make a difference.
yes.
Yeah.
So knowing that, even though I'm alone, I am actually not alone. There is a space and a sphere and a safe place where my child can actually go to and have a father figure.
And have a father figure. And I mean, we joke about this, or joke, I say that in a very dark sense, about the sustainable future. We've been sustaining, yo. There's been very little money and people have been surviving because of this notion of it takes a village. But this becomes a deeply personal thing. So Natia, I'm going to ask you this. What does it mean to be a father? Because I think we love to judge the dads that are absent.
Yeah.
And often it's not their fault. It's the socio-economic situation that this country is in.
Exactly.
I get that. What does it mean to you to be an active father? What has that brought into your life?
I don't know if it's unfortunate or fortunate that there is no manual to be a father.
Yeah.
You learn on the job. It's that kind of thing. However, is that you can't jump into it saying that, okay, let's see what today brings. It's not about that. It's all about that you know that there's certain things that you do with your kids. I'm currently based in Johannesburg. I've got my kids that are on this side of the world, and there's certain stuff that you should teach your children to do with you. For example, if at night you go down and pray with them, if you are not there, they shouldn't do it alone. Today we've got social networks. We've got all this technology.
Video link, man, yeah.
Let's pray over video or record it and send it through. The moment you start, you let them do it doing by themselves, that's when they get used to you not being there.
Yeah.
So now they know that we can pray without dad not being there. And when you come back and actually think you're going to pray with them, they say, Dad, now we know how to do it without you. And that's sad. So being present is not necessarily because you find there are fathers that are physically present there, but they're absent emotionally. They're not there.
Sure.
So being present is the fact that you are away, but there are certain traits that your kids should know that this is what my dad and I do, whether he's here or not.
And both of you get that. The joy of walking this journey, not having had a roadmap or a handbook, is the pure, utter joy I get to see this relationship manifest. But there are so many young children, young men out there that don't have access to this. We're going to keep your details up for as long as possible and support you in every way that you can. But on behalf of all those children that desperately do need a father figure and that constant thread, thank you, thank you, thank you for driving this.
Yes, ma'am. Thanks.
It's a pleasure.
Thank you, Graham. Well, listen, if you're not knowing what to do for Father's Day, well, we're going to sort you out. How does a Father's Day feast sound? Now, with quick, easy, and convenient meal solutions, Woolworths has a wide selection of eat-in ready-made meals, which means you can enjoy more time with Dad and less time in the kitchen. And we have Chef Clem here to take us through some of his favorites. And I am here for the ready eat-in meals solutions.
Those solutions are the
I am
best.
here for this.
Right. So
Just heat and eat.
It's heat and eat. So we know how the deal works. You select your main, select your side, and select your dessert. And when you shop the combo, you can save up to 45 Rand.
Sure.
So what's really amazing is the options that you have. So what we did today was, because Sunday's a special day, so we bought more than just one deal, we bought two. Because you can do that. You can shop the deal twice, thrice.
Why not? Mix and match it.
Exactly, mix and match. So we've gone for the Tuscan roast chicken, and we've also gone for the castle chops. But there's also like an option to go for the fish cakes. And we've gone for the roasted tomato salad, and we've gone for the mash as our sides.
Oh.
And then for our dessert options, we've gone with the chocolate mousse. And we've gone for the lemon curd Ayrshire yogurt, because it is as good as a dessert. It's so rich, decadent, thick, amazing.
And you just finish it off with like some chocolate, some white chocolate sprinkles, or just some lemons rind.
There we go, absolutely.
You are good to go.
So you can actually plate all of it up on Sunday and have this massive spread. Or you can do like Meg and I do at home, is we shop the deal twice. And from that, we actually end up making the meals that we have for the week.
Ah, okay.
So that's a really great way to save. So, super easy, your chicken goes either on the braai or straight into the oven. And I've got one that is done.
That we popped into the oven.
Looking juicy.
So that's just, you take it out. You don't have to clean it or anything.
No, it's all
you
done.
You just put it in the oven. You know me, I like to rinse things and make sure it's washed.
Don't rinse this chicken. So then
all the flavors are
all the flavors are on there and in there because it sits inside that marinade and the marinade just gets inside the chicken. It's also butter brined. Ooh. So it's so juicy. So that's what we've done with the chicken. Then
chicken done.
Chicken done. Coming in because, hey, I'm obsessed with my Everdeer. Got the Everdeer, and this is available at Woolies. We're gonna do the chops on there because, again, it's the vibe. So what you could do is light your Everdeer outside, then when it's time to serve the chops, because they don't take long to cook, these are the custard chops, you can actually pop it on the table.
Oh, fantastic.
Braai your own. Hey, that's a good idea. And you give everybody their raw piece of meat, and they get to braai their own.
So that's how we do fondue. We do fondue with the oil, and then we put the raw bacon and chicken and little sausages, and everyone cooks their own. But I love this. Everyone can braai
There we go.
their own.
So let's just put those 2 chops on there for now. You want to play a game?
Yes, let's
play a game. So you got your paddle.
I've got
I want to ask you some questions because I like
A and
hearing
B.
about people's dads and families. So I've got questions for you. It's either going to be A or B. So what would your dad prefer? A lazy day at home in his gown all day, or an adventurous day with the family, hiking or road trip?
Ooh, it's a tough one. My dad works really hard, but he's not the type of person to just chill in front of the couch in the gown. He would rather be out in the garden or do something productive. So I'm going to go with B.
Same. For my dad, I like that. Okay, then, would your dad rather prefer breakfast in bed with the full spread or a family lunch with the whole family?
Ooh, I think he would do family lunch with the whole family because my mom cooks amazing food.
Okay, I was going to be spicy. What if the in-laws are coming? Just joking, hold that one. No. So it's a family lunch, and I do like that idea of the family lunch. I think my dad would go for the same as well. If your dad had to choose between soap on a rope or socks, which would he choose?
Probably socks.
Socks, right?
Socks.
It's 2023 is the year of socks.
He's very particular with his soap, i.e. very boring, so he won't do any fancy soaps.
Okay. And also, I haven't seen soap on a rope anywhere in a very long time. So the option is socks.
Socks.
So tell me now, quick question. If you had to choose between a Tuscan roast chicken or the pork chops, another Everdeer?
I can't choose. I'll have to go with both. It's impossible to choose. Plus, why settle for one when you can just nibble on all of them?
2023 is not the year of or, it's the year of and. There we go. Shop the deals, get the amazing spread. Father's Day sorted.
Oh, well, listen, if you are thinking of, wanting to make Father's Day super special for your dad, then take the thinking out of the cooking this Father's Day with the eat-in ready-made meal solutions from Woolworths. Plus, you can enjoy a selection of main, side, and dessert and save up to 45 Rand when you buy the full meal. Now, this offer is valid until the 18th of June, 2023, and it's only available in-store at selected stores while stocks last. So, enjoy your Father's Day shopping.
But for Batman or Superman, our dads are our first superheroes. And if you think you have the best dad in town, then how better to show it than by giving him a chance to win a 2,000 Rand Dose of Care cash prize, courtesy of Panado SA. Each Monday through Friday from the 12th to the 23rd of June, to stand a chance of winning him one of these 10 daily giveaways, enter by replying to the competition post that is posted on the Expresso Facebook page, Expresso Instagram page, or the Expresso Twitter page during the competition period. Remember to use the hashtag Panado SA and hashtag A Dose of Care in your answer. T's and C's apply.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Oh, welcome back, you beauties, for one last time. And I'm stood beside the amazingly talented, just wonderful human being, Majosi. And of course, so much going on right now. You know, if your songs weren't so absolutely brilliant, I would assume you were making them up as you went along, because it always feels like you're just pouring the love and the emotion that's in the heart, dude. I love you, man. I love you so much for being here. That being said, we want to see you perform live. We love the fact that the scene is pumping at the moment. So what is the best way to connect with you, my friend, and find out where and how we can connect?
Definitely. Again, ladies and gentlemen, another good-looking guy, great guy.
Thanks, man.
The best way is to check out Majosi Music on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. I always put my gigs up. Please come. I'm playing gigs tomorrow, the next day, and the next day. I'm playing in Joburg tomorrow and Pretoria on the weekend. So pull through. It would be wonderful to see you.
And he always brings his friends, and he just makes it super awesome and
great
special, man. So you're going to close out with Honest. What is the vibe behind the song?
I wanted to write a song that kind of was just honest about our emotions, but also letting people know that it's okay to, like, just not be all right all the time, you know? But yeah, exactly, it's okay not to be okay. But, you know, that's just life, you know? And I just wanted the people just to know that no matter what you're going through, like, it's okay, man.
It really is. We will be okay. Because we've got this guy in our corner. Love you, guy. Ladies and gentlemen, one last time this morning, performing Honest. It's Majosi. Enjoy.
I wanna be honest, maybe I don't quite feel alright, like I've broken a promise. I try my best to be polite, and every time I fall asleep, there's another day that I lose me. If I'm really honest, I really need you here tonight. It really hurts when I try, but I wanna be alright. I just wanna give my best to you. I'm a weird kind of guy, but I never can deny that I'm always gonna need you. So you know that I'm gonna be chilling by your side for eternity. But I'm gonna be honest, I'm just not feeling alright. 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 Just another occasion. I'm really okay if I'm alone. Don't need no persuasion. I really like my home. I know that I'm not 23, but I wish you could find the part of me. I try to be patient. Maybe it's a little overblown. Maybe it's a little overblown. I'm just not feeling alright. I'm just not feeling alright. I'm just not feeling alright. I'm just not feeling
Another feel-good production.